because like I will tell you that all the four big fish that we caught down there, every one of them we thought was 5 to 6 pounds.
What is up, everybody? It's Seabass. Welcome back to another episode of Friday Night Shenanigans. It's me. We got Paul Batters back in the studio, and we have another special guest with us, Mr. Nathan Brown. Welcome to the studio, Hoss. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And, yeah, man, the conversation is flowing. We got good talk going before we even go live tonight.
We got some tournament talk.
Yeah.
We got some tournament talk tonight.
Dude, we're we're straight up buzzing on the tournament talk.
I'm so pumped that
Here
tournament
we
season's starting
go.
again.
Here we go.
Our boy Michael Duarte killing it as usual down in Florida.
Absolutely. 14th place in
Yeah,
going
into the Toyota Series, going into the final day.
on Okeechobee. That's insane.
He's only 3 pounds back from the lead.
Yeah.
So, which is pretty, as a co-angler, and especially down there, pretty easy to make up.
Yeah.
So he's still got a shot.
He is co-angler. He's not actually
Co-angler, yeah.
right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
He linked with John Venor, which I meant to look up to see how John did, but I forgot. So I'm going to do that right
What's
now.
up, Ken? Thanks for joining, brother. Yeah, time to do a little sharing here. I gotta share it to my page.
Let's see. Results, day 2.
If you guys are watching the podcast, definitely hit that.
Ooh, somebody dropped a 30 piece today on the boater side. 31-3. Dang.
Giggity.
And he's only in second. Dang. The guy leading is called 24 pounds both days. Anyway, back to finding Mr. Venor. No, don't want to add the favorites. Just want to search. Venor.
Hit that like and that share button, boys. Get it out there. Let's get some more people up in here so we can have a good bass talk conversation. Tournament season's just around the corner. We're buzzing on that right now, getting ready for some of that tournament talk. Michael's down in Florida, so he's kicking it off early.
Yeah, with Johnny V.
And what's the soonest tournament around here now?
Probably March.
March?
Yeah. Unless you're on the Potomac, I'm sure there'll be some in February on the Potomac. There was an ABA on the schedule on the Potomac in February one year, I think, or it was like March 1st or something. I remember being down there. It was because I was trying to catch a bass in every calendar month that year, and I was down there practicing for an ABA on the 28th of February, and I caught my February bass on the 28th of February. Oddly enough, we had been fishing typical, wintertime stuff. Water was muddy. We go back into Mattawoman. We come back into Mattawoman. We go back behind Marsh Island, and I catch 3 in like 6 casts in like this much water.
That's shallow, like wintertime.
It was crazy, and it made no sense for those fish to be there, but they were there. I mean, it was like every piece of wood that was back there had a fish on it. On the old spinnerbait. One of my favorite early season baits. So, yeah, tournament season's going to be kicking off. Johnny, I just looked it up. Johnny V ended up in 91st, which is not terrible considering the size of the field. I mean, you're looking at almost 200 boats. So, halfway up the pack. Caught a limit both days. Seems like I've never done a lot of fishing in Florida. It seems like it can be very boom or bust down there. Looked like he had like 12 pounds a day or something like that. So it always seems like either land on the big ones or you know, you catch a limit. Like, you know, you catch a limit of 2-pounders. They were catching some big ones in practice though.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I guess I was right. I said when I said hit Mikey D and Johnny V.
I like it.
Giggity.
What's up, Ann? What's going on, guys? Just moved here to Maryland. I'll be joining those tournaments when they start back up at Meriter Point Park.
Ian?
Oh, awesome, dude.
That's awesome,
Well,
Ian.
definitely, we're going to be happy to
up, Nick?
hang out, happy to meet, and we're going to have a good time this summer. Can't wait. What's up, Nick? Lou? What's up, Lou?
Yeah, it won't be long before tournament season is around here.
Can't wait every weekend.
It's like our first TBF tournament is April 6th.
I feel like if you catch a goldfish on a hook in a fish tank,
I've done it in a pond.
you probably that's a big goldfish.
It was in Dublin, you know, the Dublin pond.
Dell.
Yeah. It was many years ago. It was like there's these big ass koi in there.
Yeah,
And I was like, I'm gonna catch one of these, and I just went down there with a can of corn and just like threw a handfuls of corn out there, and then just went, droop.
chummed them right up.
I chummed them bitches right up. I was like, I'm gonna catch one of these. It was pretty funny. So yeah, our first TBF tournament, April 6th. Nate's fishing the TBF this year. Yeah, pretty happy to have those Bass Legend guys fishing the TBF with us this year. You know, should be a good time. Lots of boats. Good payout. If anybody's interested in joining the TBF, let me know. It is a what do we have? 5 tournaments.
5, yeah.
We have 5 tournaments. It's a 5-tournament trail. You can make your way to the TBF National Championship through that trail. I actually qualified as a rider. I'll be going to Texas with our good friend of the show, Tom Bavaro. We're going to Sam Rayburn in the end of March for the national championship. So you have an opportunity there to win a whole lot of money. Boater side, it's like $120,000 for the national championship. Rider side's it's like a $50,000 package. The $120,000 package includes, that's a new boat, as part of that 20-foot Ranger. So a lot of good stuff to come from the TBF. Should be a really good trail this year, and we're more than happy to bring any new teams on that want to. Zach fishes the TBF with Danny, Mr. Danny Rodriguez. Most people around here know who Danny is. Pretty big hammer around here. But TBF is it's a fun trail. There's a lot of good people in the district. We fish with DC and Delaware. Great people on both sides, and we would be more than happy if anybody is interested that's catching this to just shoot me a message so that I make sure that I get it, and we can get you signed up, and you can fish the trail with us and have a little fun.
We'll make sure you get it, even if you shoot Bass and Beer Radio.
Yeah, for sure. I just may overlook it because we're so popular and we get so many messages.
We're so popular. This week was our most popular week ever. We had 3 messages. It was great.
Ian messaged me on Facebook. Paul, just find Paul Batters on Facebook and message me, and I'll get you details. You need a partner. It's a team trail, so just let me know who you want to fish with, and we can get you the information. Who are you fishing with?
Okay, so we
I'm not sure yet.
Still haven't decided.
Still haven't decided.
just fishing by yourself.
No.
Just
definitely not by myself.
Ranger danger all the way.
Nope.
No Ranger danger all the
No,
way.
gotta fish with somebody. Gotta have equal numbers. So definitely have to have a partner. But that's what I find the most fun about it is it's a team trail. So you can fish with your buddy, you fish with them. You don't have to worry about fishing with, if you're a rider, you don't have to worry about getting a bad boater draw or something like that. It's not teams once we get to the semifinals. So if you qualify for the semifinals, then it goes into random draw. But our qualifying trail is a team event. Mr. Brian Dyson, that's another TBF a TBF member right there.
I don't know why I thought that was so fun, but it was really fun. Chad, did you see the video I sent you on that mercury meter? I have not, Dan. Is it on Bass and Beer or is it on my
I didn't
page?
see it, so it's not
I
on
didn't
Bass and
see
Beer.
it, so it's got to be on mine. I pay so much more attention to Bass and Beer anymore than I do my own personal page.
Yeah. I
I
try not to.
anyways.
Oh, Larry.
Larry.
Oh, Larry. Taking it back. The dream team.
Larry Boy.
2020 Dream Team.
A 2020 dream team.
Larry,
Fought like
Larry,
20 pounds
White
every
Contrary.
tournament.
Almost.
Yeah, and like one you had 19.
We had 21 once.
That's that made up for it.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, for real. That dude is such a tool bag.
Tom.
You say go home, Larry.
What? Zaldane's going downhill? Screw Turkle. So yes, screw Turkle. Like I don't like that guy. He's arrogant and just rubs me the wrong
They
way.
all have interests in their own baits.
But I feel like Zaldane being part of that video really damaged his brand. Because that was just a straight BS hate video, and Zaldane coming on that at the end is just, it really damaged his brand. And I like Chris Zaldane. I like Chris Zaldane a lot. He's fun to watch when he's on live because he actually takes the time to explain to you what he's doing. So he's one of the few people that I really like watching for 8 hours a day. But man, that I just feel like that being on that part of that video really hurt his brand.
It was one of those things where, in my opinion, I know that everybody has their own bait preferences. I have my own bait preferences, but you guys have just as... I know... who's to say who has more invested into what bait? But they both have things in... Milliken and Chris all have things invested into a bait. And to discredit somebody's bait over another's is... In my opinion, I don't know. It's just unprofessional.
Did you see Ben Milliken's post yesterday?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Caught 30 fish over 8 pounds.
And then freaking smoked him on that.
Where?
Bait.
And then
it was just
Texas.
like, come on now.
He lives in Texas, and then holds up the mouth of one and hit the swim bait that Rob Turkle was talking
I didn't
shit
know
on
where it was.
in the fish's mouth. It's like a 12-pounder. Pretty hilarious. He even said in his post, he's like, even caught one on the swim bait that doesn't work. Really.
Yeah, I thought it was
Really made
definitely
me-
silly, but whatever. Like, that has been a thing in the swim bait community, in my opinion, even between bait makers and swim bait throwers alike. Before it even, it's always like there's always been a professional level to things. But I'm saying, I think swim baits kind of more or less just went mainstream more recently.
Yeah, within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You
So,
know,
but before that was always some type of dramatic
mainstream.
bullshit between,
Mainstream for sure. There are guys that have been in that big swim bait game for a long time that fish professionally that just kept it under wraps.
for sure.
Steve Kennedy being one of them. Fred Rombanis. Fred Rombanis is a big bait guy from out west. Designed the Boom Boom that you're familiar with.
That's a great bait.
Yeah.
Phenomenal bait. The Boom Boom Swimmer is phenomenal from Optimum Baits. Woo.
Greg, I don't think he's going to
Lord,
smoke.
Lord.
I think he's going to hold his own. I don't think he's going to smoke them all.
Hold up. Let me start this recording.
Oh,
Welcome, Nate Brown. Nate Brown in the house. I just started the recording, so I'm starting this over again. Anyways,
so yeah, and Greg's right. Everybody copies everybody. And the fishing industry's been that way for a long time because and it's, if you see something that's successful, you're going to make your own version of it, right? No, there are some companies that are worse than others that just make, like Bass Pro, who just makes straight rip-offs of literally everything. The Kitech rip-off that they had, which is like an exact copy of a Kitech, and pretty much every bait that they make is an exact copy of something.
everything is a copy of something. I just don't like when
I don't,
some of these bait makers don't give credit where I think credit is due in some areas. Like, I think they completely discredited So, I mean, I even had a conversation, not even a conversation, I had like a one comment conversation with John Cruz, who told me to look into a bait that was developed by Biwa before the Depths cover scat was released.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I can't specifically remember what it was called at this time, but I went online, I researched the bait, I looked it up. It was developed by a French bait maker here in the United States, and the bait more or less resembled a black leech of a thicker version more than a
They're
poop bait, will you say. But the way that
the
you
other one?
threw and worked the bait was the same. So I can understand how Depths took this bait and they said, we can take this and we can develop this and we can make this into something better.
Right.
So
kind
then
of
they
like
developed, but they completely changed the look, the action, everything. And I feel like what these other bait companies are not doing is they took Depths cover scat, like missile baits. I love missile baits. It's an exact replica. It looks nothing different.
so.
There's subtle differences,
But if
it
you-
looks nothing different.
but it performs differently.
It does.
Which
It's
was
made
the
from a
reason that he
different
made his own.
plastic.
Because he wanted to change the weight of it because the bigger cover scat is hard to skip.
No, it's not.
So he made a lighter bait that was easier to skip.
It's not hard to skip.
It's harder.
I can.
Harder.
It's
It's
harder.
harder to skip.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not saying
hard
it's
to skip.
I'm not saying it's impossible to skip. I'm saying it's harder.
Dustin, Joppa is probably ice free today. It was about 80 degrees around here. It was freaking hot.
Yeah, it was like 72. So, everybody, like I said, everybody copies everything.
Yes.
I'm trying to. There was another bait actually. I know.
I mean, Rapala did. Rapala copied a bunch of OSP baits when they did the Crush City line, and it is what it is. But
So this is the bait that I saw first before I ever saw the Depths cover scat.
that's a poontang. What?
It's actually called the heavy poop stick, and I saw that long before I saw the Depths.
From Fish Arrow.
Yeah.
Yes. Fish
So-
Arrow was one of the originals.
Right.
Yeah.
Which goes to say I don't know which one was out first, but did Depths copy? Did they
They
make
were
their bait
both
or did,
right there
or,
in the
did Depths
development
make
process
it?
for
So,
sure.
Everybody does it. The Jackhammer. The Jackhammer is probably the biggest copy. Of recent times.
Yeah.
Now, did they make it better? Yes. Does it still look like a chatterbait? Yes.
This is one of them things that I like. I don't even like. We're talking about it right now, but dude, the poop bait category was one of my. This was one of my.
You're
secret baits.
only mad because now more people know about it.
That's what I'm saying though. I am upset about it. More people know about it now. Because I was out there throwing this cover scat, and I would have so many people look at me, what the fuck is this thing? And I'm really just like, it's just a plastic chunk, And again, it just had, but there was a different action about this bait in a 2.8, where the way that it fell,
I hope so, Dustin, because
And
I have to take
just-
my boat for a test drive tomorrow.
it wasn't like something with appendages falling or anything. It was just a very subtle fall. It wasn't a big long worm. I don't know what it was, but it got bit in times where that bite was just non-existent for me that day. And it was like, and that time when that bite was hard and you had to go slow down, that was a key bite for us, was throwing a poop bait category. And now I just feel like, honestly, when you take, and this is just my personal opinion, thinking out loud because I like JDM baits, but when you take JDM and you market it to an American market and make it more readily available, I think people are just automatically going to flock to it out of curiosity for what it is.
Just
Yeah.
because it's made in America.
It's something new.
It's something new.
Yeah, it's something new that
Exactly.
they haven't seen before. And that
Exactly.
JDM market tends to be a little
Magical.
a little off the radar for a lot of the a lot of the American anglers. So
And or unaffordable.
speaking,
Not to be a douche, but it is expensive.
random. I got me a little shout out on Susquehanna Fishing Tackles podcast last night.
Hey, I saw your 30 comments on there.
Yeah, I always talk to those guys. But they were talking about a bait and they couldn't remember the name of it. It was an old Lucky Craft bait. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
and George was like, if you're ever in a trivia contest about old baits, he will take your lunch money.
Yeah, I think. Don't you have a couple of like balsa crankbaits from them from trivia?
No, that was from I got those
Bass
from
U.
I got that from Bass University and Ike Live. So I actually won a very expensive glide bait from Bass U
Yeah.
that I'm trying to sell to Chad.
Yes, I want it.
He wants it.
I will buy it.
You just gotta make me an offer on it, man.
I know. I just
give me a fair price.
I'm honestly, I haven't really thought about it too much yet, just because we haven't gotten that close to the season.
Like whatever retail goes for,
Yeah.
like take a couple bucks off and we're good.
I'll look it up. You know what I did just buy though, but I don't have it yet, due to one of my buddies, Alex, in the swim bait game, Alex Rogers.
Yeah.
Just I landed a 7-inch trick shad that I've been looking for.
Oh, nice.
Got that 7-inch
nice,
trick shad in a custom shad paint from the Richmond Expo last weekend. I gotta go pick it up tomorrow.
Gotcha.
It's, I'm pumped on it.
Yeah,
The
it's
freaking color is insane. I love it.
yeah. I can't get into those big baits, man.
I know.
Like I just can't spend the freaking money.
It's the 7.
Still, like when you get into like hundreds of dollars for a bait, it's God. That to me is just like it's excessive.
It was 200.
200.
It's my most expensive glide bait to date. And I'm not gonna lie, I am terrified to throw it.
That little asshole.
Yeah, he farted.
That's
Straight
terrible.
up, dude.
God, that's so bad. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty bait. That is a pretty bait. What was I saying? I totally lost my train of thought. So yeah. Tackle trivia. We'll just go back to that. Robert Wagner versus a Riverboat Rob versus Paul Batters trivia contest. Yes. Good question, Miles. No, I'm taking my boat for a test drive tomorrow, and then it should be sold, and then I'm buying my new boat. That's the plan anyway. If anybody would like to know what kind of boat I'm getting, I am getting a Skeeter ZXR 20. Brand spanking new.
You're getting a 2024?
2023, but brand new.
Okay. Hell yeah.
So
That's tight. With the
250.
It's got a 250
250.
on it.
250
my
show.
gosh, dude. Moving up into the freaking into the big dollars there, the big horsepower motor.
No,
What's that going to run like speed wise?
low 70s.
Low 70s.
Yeah. Miles, I can't afford the Falcon. I don't want to be boat poor. So I'd like to have like a little bit of money, and the Falcon's about $10,000 more, which I feel is pretty significant. I mean, I guess that's like 15%.
Yeah.
No, or not 15%, but like, well, yeah, 15. It's like 15% more.
And for what? The brand name.
Better quality. I mean, so I told Candace asked me the same question tonight, and it's like, say you're buying a piece of furniture, right? I'm buying an Adirondack chair. It's the difference of going to like Wirt and Daughters and buying one that like was locally built, hand built, versus going to Home Depot and buying one. Skeeter makes thousands of boats a year. So Falcon makes about 300 boats a year. They're handmade. They're very quality control is very high. It's very good. But as far as features, no, I'm not. I'm not. I don't think I'm losing anything in quality, and I don't think I'm losing anything as far as features go. The only thing that I'm giving up is the units. The Falcon came with better units, and the Falcon came with power poles, and the Skeeter comes with Raptors. So I don't really feel like I'm giving anything up. That the Raptor power poles are kind of a trade-off.
You're keeping the poles on your champ when you sell it, right? So you're gonna do it with the Raptors.
Yeah,
they're gonna be good.
it comes.
You're gonna like them.
The boat comes with them.
Yeah.
So
Turney really enjoys his.
my buddy Mike likes his.
Yeah. Get the 10s.
So
Get the 10s.
I'm going to be running a Helix 12.
Get the 10s.
No, I'm not getting the 10s. It's completely obnoxious.
Get the 10s.
What graphs am I running? I'll be running a
Get
Helix.
the 10s. Put a flag on one of them.
I'll be running a Helix 12 at the console, Helix 10, and a Garmin 106 SV at the front.
Ooh.
So those came off my
10.
old
You
boat.
2 10s at the front and a 12 at the console.
Yeah. So the 2 10s actually came off my Champion.
Right.
So I'm possibly. Scott, those new Skeeters are ride amazing. If I had not been in one, I wouldn't be buying one.
Money you save on Skeeters goes towards chiropractor.
Even the FX, the old FX series. Dude, I was fishing a tournament with Ed Riley, SQT out on Deep Creek once, and we hit a wake that he just didn't see, and we hit this thing like full. Well, I mean, like didn't trim down nothing, hit it full, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna hurt, and it just went boom. I'm like,
You have live on your rate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bought Miles's old one from him.
You
When he upgraded.
You use it a lot up on
Every
on
time.
the lake.
I don't go on the boat unless it's
Pretty addictive.
yeah, very.
Yeah.
but yeah,
But have you figured it out?
Yeah, because I've seen it on like I fished with Miles when he had it on his boat and fished with like
you fish with me.
with you, yeah. I've seen it before I put it on my boat. I had it there.
What's the learning curve?
I mean, I'm still learning for sure. It's not like you. I don't. Feel
Scott,
like
even my
you-
champion, hurting force from having to grace to the sass. I ain't gonna lie.
Anything running in four. I don't care. I don't give a shit what you're running in fours. This is not going to be comfortable.
I absolutely love my champion, but anything in fours. I did run my champion in like 5 footers on Ontario, but up there they're so far spread out that you just gotta go like this.
They're like swells.
But no, so my buddy Ron has a Skeeter ZX20, and I fished a couple tournaments with him in December, and I was very, very impressed with the ride of that boat. They changed the hull design, and the new hull design is a lot better. Scott, I've been in a 202 in 4 footers. It's not comfy.
203 and 202. What's the difference?
So 202 is a little older than a 203. It's just a model of the Champion.
Okay, I gotcha.
They made a 202 up until 96 or like 96 or 97, and then they went to the 203. One's 20 feet 2 inches, one's 20 feet 3 inches.
Okay.
Even my buddy's 210.
I have heard that an inch makes a difference to people.
Xbox mini fridge.
Xbox mini fridge.
What about the Xbox mini fridge? I do know what you're talking about randomly, but I don't know how it relates to this conversation.
Where's the Xbox mini fridge?
Nowhere
What's
there.
up, John? Where's the Xbox mini fridge?
Miles, 5 footers on Cayuga and a tracker. Yeah, that happens up there. Any of those Finger Lakes, if you get a north or south wind, they suck because there's no break in the land.
I'll take my aluminum Ranger through it.
They're just round.
Right through it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll break that hull.
I was gonna say,
I'll break
might have
that
to-
hull directly in half. I'm not scared.
Might have to have some welds replaced on that one.
I mean, the whole freaking boat.
So yeah, those Finger Lakes, you get a north or south wind, it's they're shaped like an oval. There's no like points or anything to break the wind, so it just rolls right up. Champlain's the same way. So if you get if you're fishing in the north end of Champlain, it's a south wind, it sucks. If you're fishing down by Ty and it's a north wind, it sucks. That's why if anybody remembers the tournament that Timmy Horton won on Champlain, he left his starting spot at 9:30. Like he ran down there, caught. He ran down, caught. I think he caught like 17 or 18 pounds, which was way enough. He knew was way enough to win. At 9:30, he left and drove back, and had pizza delivered to the boat ramp. It's pretty funny.
That's crazy.
So he was just sitting at the boat ramp eating pizza.
Jessica, you can go on Nathan's boat any day. It's okay.
But
Jessica has 57 friends. Jessica's probably from Japan.
no, Jessica, I imagine it's probably not from Japan.
Okay, Iraq. One of those. Something like that.
And Jessica probably is swinging something between her legs.
We are about to be banned off Facebook for a week. That's okay.
But that's okay in this day and age. You know?
Yeah, that is totally okay because I'm going to voice how I feel. And
Oh, no, I was talking about the thing swinging between her legs.
oh, I don't feel that.
Yeah, that's acceptable in this day and age. But, whatever floats your boat.
Right.
Let's see. 17th out of 100 in an FLW dirt in an aluminum tracker. Good for you. I will tell you that running some of those New York waters will make you not scared of running the bay.
Yeah.
A week's not bad. It's a 30-day bans that suck.
Speaking from experience,
I believe Jason has been banned a few times. Jason, our resident snakehead expert on Bass and Beer Radio. I'm sorry, one of them. I don't want to leave Tom out there. Tom's become more of a bass guy, though, so not that he still can't catch the snakeheads, but
you catch the snakeheads when you're bass fishing. You catch the bass when you're snakehead fishing. That's
how it always works for me. I mean, I have a friend of mine who comes up from he was down down toward Annapolis. He was in Serena Park, and he comes up to go snakehead fishing with me every year, and every year we catch nothing but bass.
Oh, I think you told me that.
I mean, I'm not kidding. It's always the worst possible conditions for catching snakeheads. It's like massive cold front, winds blowing like 30 miles an hour. It's like the worst, super flood tides, worst conditions for catching snakeheads. And yeah, we always just end up catching bass. He has not caught a snakehead with me yet. Oh yeah, Tom is a perch guy now. It is January.
No.
Little John.
Tom has been hammering bass.
Well, no, he's been hammering
So
yellow perch too.
Actually, he's been hammering.
Actually,
red eye.
Tom never stopped fishing.
Does
he
anybody
never
know-
put the boat up.
Does anybody know who Jessica is?
Who is Jessica?
Because apparently she just caught our comments there. Yeah, Tom is a perch guy. He's a perch guy now. He's been hammering them yellow perch. He tried to get me to go yellow perch fishing with me the other day, but I was too busy.
Little
Then
perch,
he-
little perch jerking.
Yeah, then he sent me pictures and I was like, yeah, I caught a limit in an hour.
What do you send you pictures of?
The perch that he caught. So, little John, you can't call dibs on me for the Thursday nighters because my wife is my permanent partner,
Yeah, I tried last.
and
year.
she can definitely beat you up.
Yes, she could beat you up.
So, is it fishing season yet? Like this warm weather
It's
today.
never not fishing season, if you ask me.
Is it bass season? It's like
It's never not bass season.
yeah, but we're in that point where it's like we've got a crap ton of rain. It's all the water's muddy.
Yeah.
So the bass fishing just it's not great.
It's not great
Like I can
conditions.
still catch them,
Yeah.
but it's just not great. So you go out there and you fish all day for 2 or 3. It's just I want those. I need that March, April, March,
I'm
early
ready for
April
March.
days where you go out and you whack like 30 of them and they're all over 4 pounds. Chad doesn't fish the flats. He doesn't know how that is.
I've never had one of those days.
Well, next year, now that you have a bigger boat,
Yeah.
you can go up and mess around on the
That was
flats
like
with
the entire point of the boat to begin with. So I'll get a cardboard box.
us. Nate, there you go. You got a partner for the Thursday nighters.
Oh yeah, we're fishing the Thursday nighters.
And Nate catches the right tooth. That is correct.
Hold up, Dustin's got live scope now. God damn it.
That Kelly Hughes, that's my buddy Jan with the white G3. That's his wife. He's
That's
on
Jan's
his
wife?
Facebook. So
I like Jan.
remember the
Hey, what's up, Jason? Thanks for joining, man.
Jason, how was the Dorsey launch in the snow?
it wasn't a great launch.
that steep ramp covered
Let's
in
hear
snow.
about it.
Nope.
Let's hear about it.
I mean, I launched fine. I slid down a little bit, but I made it.
Four-wheel drive is a must.
Is it 2 or 4-wheel?
It's 4-wheel. But on the way back, I think so. There was like 4 more inches of snow. When I got back there. If there weren't duck hunters there, like they put down a whole bag of salt for me, and then I pulled out. But if they weren't there, I definitely would have been driving to Glen Cove. It was
Driving. Did you have somebody with you?
yeah. I had 2 people.
So you could
You
have
think
somebody
you
take
would
the
have
truck
got
down.
out even without the boat once you went down?
Oh, I would have dropped somebody off at my truck, and I would have drove the boat down.
Yeah, but do you think your freaking truck would have pulled out of the ramp without the boat on the trailer?
Well, that might not be a great idea because that hill like you
Oh,
could
yeah,
probably get out of the water,
going
but getting up that
Yes.
I would have been going
Getting
over
up or
to,
down that hill?
The Peach Bottom Marina. That one's not bad.
Oh, yeah.
Snap.
That's
yeah.
a long drive though.
Yeah. But yeah, that
You
day
caught
was
fish
bad.
that day?
Yeah, we caught fish that day.
Shit.
Well, it went to a warm water discharge. You can always catch fish in a
Yeah.
warm water
Well-
discharge. You catch them with walleye.
But yeah, we caught a few. We caught a lot of smallmouth and some largemouth too. But,
Yeah, this is late winter, man. The largemouths really move in there.
Yeah, I went yesterday.
I caught some
We
decent
a
ones
few.
there. Decent ones there in the wintertime, January, February.
But it was snowing so hard that like you'd set your rod down for like 5 minutes to throw another rod, and you'd have to like dunk it in the warm water to get because it would be just
Covered in snow.
Yeah.
Just shake it off. That's pretty funny.
Little John is heading up to Santee and
Down. That's down.
down.
Yeah.
Saying down to Santee. And he's heading to Santee. And somewhere else. Where else are you going, buddy? They're going to a couple places here soon. They normally go to Florida
Go to Murray.
this time of the year.
Go to Murray. Go to Murray while you're in South
It
Carolina.
might be Murray.
It's one of my favorite lakes in the country, and it's fishing way better, way better than the last time
I think
was
it
there.
is Murray.
Murray's a fantastic lake. I absolutely love
Norman.
that lake. Norman.
Norman
Oh,
Lake.
yeah, that's right. Oh, I remember that. Going to go catch some big spots, man.
Norman. Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
What's up, Robbie?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, Dan, right there in South Carolina. Columbia, South Carolina, baby.
South Carolina. If you guys listen to this podcast, hit that like button, hit that share button for us, man. I appreciate
Riverboat
it.
Rob.
Like and share, like and share. Yeah, Riverboat Rob. Dude, Riverboat Rob has been putting in work recently, working hard
He is
behind
working.
the scenes, like
Yeah.
talking to some straight up hammers for Bass and B Radio. I feel like Rob needs to be like this executive
We've got some.
position right now for Bass and Beer. Like I need to hire him to do
We've
what
got
he's
some.
doing.
We've got. Rob's got some good things coming down the pike for
Yeah,
us.
he absolutely does. Very, very appreciative.
Her DNR is looking for that guy.
Did that even post?
I don't know what's going on with that one. And gone.
Somebody else might be. I wonder if somebody else is watching on the Bass and Beer Radio page and
Blocked.
it's just like, no, we appreciate you because fuck the haters. We need a nickname for me at the Thursday Nighters. You haven't come to the Thursday Nighters yet.
Yeah, if you don't
You
get a
need to-
nickname until you fish an entire
You have
full
to
season.
come to the Thursday Nighters and fish, and then your name will be established.
Well, I mean, really, to be fair, the only one of us that really has a nickname is Riverboat Rob.
Yeah. I call myself Seabass, and nobody else does, and it makes me sad sometimes.
Because you can't make your own nickname.
Yeah, but I
Didn't
have
you-
to. I
didn't you
have to
ever-
do it for content.
Didn't you ever hear the snail story?
Yes. It was great.
I went in March, and they were just starting to move up. It was like middle of March, like March 12th.
Where's Murray?
South Carolina.
Down South Carolina. Okay, man. Dude, South Carolina, the Carolinas, probably a great place to fish. Down in Florida, obviously, anywhere probably down once you get into the Carolinas.
Yeah, it's a lot of good. I mean, year-round fishing down there.
I mean,
because
where-
they still go into winter pattern down there, but
Where's Austin fishing on? He's fishing in a lake for dream catchers. He's down
don't know.
in North Carolina a lot.
I mean, they fish a lot of lakes
it's a
down there.
big swim bait lake. The fishing down there just gets.
They fish a lot of electric.
Phenomenal.
They fish a lot of electric lakes down there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are some amazing. That's in western North Carolina. There's some amazing big bass lakes out there. I mean, you had that like 12-pounder that my buddy caught. Could imagine.
Yeah.
I think it was giant. I just saw
I
that
couldn't
picture today.
imagine. I couldn't imagine. I would freak out.
Oh, me too. I freaked out on mine, and it wasn't even double digits.
What was your PB?
9.6.
Where'd you catch that?
9.6.
Havity Grace.
Really? That's a big fish out of Havre Grace. But then again, Johnny V's weighed in 2 10-pounders in
I
mornings,
know.
so
2 10-pounders in a day.
not in
No,
a
man.
day.
Oh no.
No, it's just he's the only person that I know of that's ever weighed in a 10-pounder in a tournament on the Upper Bay, and he's done it twice.
I know of multiple people who have caught 10-pounders on.
Oh yeah, me
the
too.
bay. Like they're there.
Most
Just
of the
not in
time,
tournaments.
It's just not in tournaments.
Jason Basta and his buddy they caught a 10 a couple years ago.
I'd fall off my boat and drown. That'd be insane. Especially in my opinion, especially coming out of
Clint Clayton caught one almost 10. It was like 9.75 or something like that
where?
on Upper Bay.
That's insane.
Oh, you got a warning. You got a warning for saying kick his ass, Seabass. That is that is promoting violence, Martin.
Yeah, you're promoting violence, Martin.
Martin's such a violent dude.
Yeah, Martin. I didn't catch a 10.
Burton, Lanier, and Smith Mountain Lake are Miles' top 3 lakes. Miles, where's Burton at? I'm not familiar with that one. You didn't? Did your buddy catch a 10? I think it was. I thought it was your buddy that was out with you that caught a 10. I want to. I feel I swear you told me that your buddy caught a 10. I swear.
That might be Jan that you're thinking about, because they caught a 10 one day.
I would never confuse Jason and Jan.
They both have aluminum boats.
Yeah, but I've known Jason for like 25 years.
Does Jason have an Express?
Yeah. Blue Express.
Blue.
Maybe it was just a big.
Who's got the
I swore it was 10.
X19 in that gray and the green color?
That's Jeff in Tony's Club.
That's such a nice boat.
It is a nice looking boat. 8.5 in Florida. Dang.
That's a stick.
That's bigger than my
Big ass
PB.
fish.
My PB came out of the Potomac though. 8.04. Caught in December on a red eye shad.
Little John, what happens if you say hell no to what?
I actually know the exact spot that he caught it, Mr. Riverboat Rob.
We don't talk about that.
It's a community hole. I'm not going to say anything, but it's a community hole. So new boat. I'm pretty excited about
You
this.
gotta be pumped about that.
So I'm excited and incredibly nervous.
So it's like. So here's what goes through my head when I think about you getting a boat. This
Still a
is
good
me
fish
and you,
anywhere,
like,
Jason.
Your fishing is going to remain the same, but the places that you travel are going to change.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
No. You don't think there's a reliability factor in
I mean,
going from this fresh boat with this 250 on it to a 200.
Oh, I'm sure there
that
is.
blown up on you 8 different times.
it blew up twice, and
Was
once
it twice?
Yeah, it only blew up
I
twice.
just feel like there was multiple different issues with it. Maybe it didn't blow up, but I thought you did the power head on a couple times, and then it was overheating a bunch, and then yada yada.
Yeah, I fixed the overheating issue.
Yeah.
Was kind of.
Well,
just
we knew
annoying.
what that was. It was because the thing gummed up.
Yeah, it just had a blockage
Your
in the
heat
in the-
exchanger,
It blocked.
essentially.
It had a blockage in the water
Yeah.
passages. Reliability. No, I mean,
Yamaha makes a good
Nate
boat.
said, "Let's go to the pond," and we left the Anchor Marina and ran to the pond.
I know. How
And it was
often
a
do you do
terrible,
that?
terrible idea. We caught one keeper in the pond.
Anchor Marina, we went to the pond.
Yep, and we were
That's a run right there.
we were one of 5 boats that were in there out of that tournament. That is a giant shoal bass. Holy smokes!
Phew, 6
6 pound shoal bass. That is huge. What? I mean, I guess I've never the biggest fish I've ever personally seen weighed in a tournament. Was in Texas. Well, 2 years ago when we had the TBF national championship on Texas, a guy weighed in a 10. On the upper bay was Michael and Victor when they weighed in that not like 9 3/4.
Yep.
That's the biggest one I've ever seen weighed in
know
a
where that
tournament
came
up
from.
here. Yeah, we all know where that came from.
The water.
It came from the water. Came from the waters of the Chesapeake Bay.
I was talking to Victor a little bit today, actually.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not going to talk about anything about his plan or anything like that. But I asked him, I was like, you know me. I asked him, I said, you know, all the hype going on with the swim bait world. You got a lot of these mainstream companies starting to make some swim baits and stuff now. I said, are you starting to catch Ryan? What's up, brother? Are you starting to catch any flame with the swim baits? You gonna throw a swim bait a little bit this year? I don't mean a 6-inch paddle tail. I mean, are you gonna throw a glide bait? You gonna throw a 7-inch glide bait? You gonna throw something like that? So he said he's aware. He said he's aware of it. It's not going to be, a pocket thing, but I think there's a lot. And the only reason I bring this up is I just think that there's a lot of people who are starting to wake up and realize that there is a place and time to utilize a big bait.
Let me tell you a little story that I saw on Facebook the other day.
Yeah.
Well, not a story that I saw on Facebook. A story about what I saw on Facebook. So, Black Talon Customs dropped one of their 6-inch glide baits. 5 of them. Guess where the 5 people that bought them fish? They're all well-known Upper Bay anglers. All people that me and Nate know very well. Greg, Andrea, Harry, Nick. It was all like the first 5 comments are like, take one. It's all just people who fish the Upper Bay.
There's a
Just keep
time.
that in mind. Not saying that that's not the only place that those guys fish.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying-
there's a time and a place for things for things like that.
Nate'll throw a glide. Yeah, he will.
He's been
Bro, I've seen them surf rods he's got on his boat. He will.
That's not
Nate will say those miles until he witnesses one of us catch like an 8-pounder on one, and then he will throw that bitch every day.
I heard about this glide from Miles for since springtime, about
Which
at
glide?
least 3 or 4 times a tournament.
That paperweight that he likes to throw.
Yep.
It's
a good bait. The owner of the company sucks, but
it's a good bait, but I don't promote it. It's a good bait, but I don't promote it.
He makes it. He makes a great bait.
He makes a great bait.
I just think he acts a fool on Facebook too much.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, as soon as somebody whacks a big bag on a glide bait, you'll start throwing a glide bait.
Little John, there's a bunch of options that won't take you broke for throwing glides that you could definitely get started with. You got to get a rod and a reel set up for it.
And you can get you get a Dobbins Fury.
Dobbins Fury.
What's a Dobbins Fury?
120 or $130
for the swim bait rod?
Yeah, I believe so. Even though you go to an IROD, I think it's like maybe 150.
I think IROD 200,
Then
199, maybe.
I don't think so.
I mean, regardless,
The IROD is
you can go
IROD Genesis is in comparison to a Fury.
You can go St. Croix. They make a Mojo swim bait rod that's 100, I think 179.
Yep.
Yeah, Victories. So for under there's a lot of choices for under $200.
There's $20 glide baits. There's $60 glide baits on the
Savage
market
Gear
now.
Shine Glide.
Yeah.
That's a $20 glide bait that flat catches them.
The KGB Spro Chad Shad,
$60.
$60. Phenomenal glide bait. I've done a lot of throwing
Reel.
that
You
glide
do need
bait. It
just
worked.
keep in mind that you want like a 300 size reel. Don't try to throw glide baits on like a 100 size.
No,
bait caster.
I throw my 6s and my 7s on a 200 series.
Yeah, I mean I throw
But
mine on
I
200.
definitely recommend if you just go to a 300. Really,
The problem is you'll blow the gears out of it.
yeah.
So make sure that you have a reel that can handle it. Make sure get yourself a rod that can handle it, and rod and reel. Figure you're $350. For the combo, and then you can buy probably three or four lower end glide baits that work well, to get you started. So for under $500, you're into that swim bait game.
Easy.
Yeah.
You got a couple baits, you got to set up, you're ready to go. Like we're saying, we're talking about swim baits kind of, and swim baits is kind of this thing that's really coming into this professional series, FLW and the Elites Hard. There's a lot of these big bait companies that are putting bigger bait, that are making more mainstream big baits now that are more affordable for people to use, and it's waking people up to, how do I want to describe it, to the art or the form of swim bait fishing and the purpose of swim bait fishing.
I would say the potential.
The
of swim bait
potential
fishing.
of swim bait fishing. I'm not going to sit right here and I'm not going to tell anybody that you should go throw a glide bait all day long during your tournament, because that's not the purpose of the swim bait.
It could be.
It could be.
But it's very, that's going to be a very specific time of year. Specific water conditions. They're your pre-spawn fish that have moved up shallow to eat. Carl Jacobson did it on Pickwick, I think it was a couple years ago, and he threw glide bait. It literally threw a glide bait all day. Mm-hmm. It was very, very boom or bust, and that's swim bait fishing.
It's a tool. It's a tool that can be utilized to distinguish between the it's a tool that can be used to utilize and distinguish between the size of fish that you may be around. I have watched bass follow a bait that are the same exact size as my glide bait, and I have also watched schools of bass that are just giants follow these baits, and they might not eat the bait.
Over here, John. If it's over here, that would be tentacle porn.
Yeah, that is me and Paul sucking on an octopus arm at the same exact time.
Yes. Thanks to our wonderful listener, Miss Megan Jaster.
And those are boobs up above it.
Oh, speaking of Miss Megan Jaster, she just messaged me back.
Did she say start the recording?
No.
What are you doing? What are you doing over there?
Nate be always texting somebody.
You watching gay porn over there?
We're in the middle of the tournament. And he's texting like random people. Like, Nate, fish. I don't like fishing grass.
That's like me though, dude. I was fishing with Tony one time. I was just sitting on the back. I was like, I kind of need a nap. It's like, what?
So, funny story about taking a nap. The first year that we fished the TBF, that me and Frank fished the TBF together. We're down on the Potomac, Chickamonxon in April, May, and we're in Chickamonxon, and like we had like, I think we had a small, or like just a small limit, and it was kind of like just like not really happening for us, or maybe we had 3 fish, and Frank's like, go ahead and take trolling motor. Just goes back to the back, just out on the back. He's sitting in the chair on the back. He's just out. And then, like about 10 minutes into his nap, I catch a 4-pounder, and I've never seen somebody wake up so fast in my life. He was like, boom, up, net, whoop, and
no.
and then he's right on the front fishing.
I think we've seen
like,
people
oh,
wake
it's
up
go time.
faster when they fall asleep in the goose blind and you shoot a 12 gauge off above their head.
This was about the same because he woke up and was on the front deck with a net in one motion.
Yeah, I don't know. I think in a tournament, I would definitely wake up faster.
Yeah,
When you hear that freaking line start buzzing.
Yep.
we ended up on I think we ended up with 19 pounds that day, from 3 little keepers to 19 pounds in like an hour, and ended up second because sandbagging Ron and Chris Huffman. We're like, oh yeah, we didn't, yeah, we called a small limits, and me and Frank are like, yeah, we called 19 pounds, we did all right, we win this one. They had like 21. It's like, you assholes. And your beer.
Got you in here.
Oh my goodness. John says my mom is watching. Hi, John's mom. Welcome to the show.
Somebody's diabetes. Jesus.
What?
All right, I'm not even gonna ask. We're not getting into that. Not gonna ask.
What? I'm just saying hi.
Oh no.
Oh no. Did you miss the second one? You must have missed that comment. Like what? Yeah, I don't know. I will literally ignore my phone all day.
This
in a
one
tournament.
time
I will
Nate's
not
phone
answer
buzzed
anything.
all day long with some chick's diabetes.
Unless it's Candace and it's emergency, like I'm not answering my phone. Like it's just not happening.
Dude, I
don't talk to people. Like I don't even want to talk to you on the water.
It was a couple of years
Unless
ago.
I'm yelling at you.
It was a couple of years ago, and I hope this guy is still doing well. His name was Tom, and I used to fish with him. I actually bought that Nitro. My first Nitro, I bought it from him.
Yeah.
So we were close friends. He went through some tough times. We'd fished together, and he was one of those fellas where he religiously fished every Saturday. He was an electrician, and he religiously fished every Saturday. And dude, we would be out on the boat, and somebody would call Tom, and freaking Tom would be like, it would be like buried down in like his I don't know, whatever, dude. It would be buried down in one of the hatches somewhere. His phone, it would ring. He'd be on the front of the boat. He'd be like, "What the who the is calling me right now? They know what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm doing on Saturdays. I'm out here fishing. What the you calling me for right now?" He would get fired up.
I can't remember.
And then he would pick up the phone and he'd be like, "Hello?" And just, so, yeah. All right.
I think
I'm out here fishing. All right. Yeah. Bye. And like, God, these people know what I'm doing. They call me from work. They know I fish every Saturday. They're always out here calling me. I don't even answer the phone. I'm out here fishing, damn it. Like, he's like,
I think calls don't get answered.
I want to say,
dude, he would get so fired up anytime somebody would call him, and it geeked me out.
I think my friend Chris, while we were in Texas, we're on Frank's boat, and he looks back at us and goes, or he looks up. He's on the back deck, and he's like, "Guys, we got to be quiet for a minute. I got to jump on a work meeting." Like he's on a work meeting in Texas. he's on the middle of, we're out in some random place on Sam Rayburn. And he's taking a work meeting like on the back of the boat, pouring down rain.
It's crazy.
It was pouring down rain, like 35 degrees. It was one of the most miserable days that I've had. It was so miserable that me and Chris at 12 o'clock that day told Frank, like, yeah, let's just drive to Conroe. Like, we just got off the water. It was, I mean, I've never been so cold in my life.
Hey, raise your hand if we should all go fish headwaters when I'm older.
Are you paying for it? If you're paying for
I'm
it,
in on that.
I mean, I'll make it down there.
I'm just in to go down and fish headwaters eventually. Sounds fun.
There's other places that I would rather fish.
I definitely want to go to.
I want to kick off like my bucket list place. Like I want to fish Okeechobee.
Yeah,
You know,
me too.
I want to fish, even though it
I think
sucks right
everybody wants to go fish Okeechobee though.
now. I want to fish the St. John's River.
It's not Okeechobee I want to fish. It's freaking God. It's one of those freaking big swim bait lakes down in Florida.
Big
Starts with a
swim bait.
K.
Kissimmee.
It's not Kissimmee. It's a different one.
No. Kissimmee chain's pretty good too. I'd like to.
No, it's not Kissimmee. It's one of these.
Ah, my man.
I want to go to the California Delta. I've always wanted to go
The
there.
California Delta would be
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I feel like that would be like fishing the Upper Bay, except for 12 pounders.
I might throw a big swim bait out there.
I feel like there's like it's not going to be
Well, see,
just
the-
like
yeah, but the
shallow and grass though. I feel like they have like deep water out in the California Delta.
The Delta, I mean, it's the Sacramento River, so there's deep water there, but most of the bass fishing is shallow grass.
Yeah.
It's a lot like fishing the Upper Bay, except they have 12 pounders.
Yeah.
And they don't throw a lot of big swim baits on the Delta because the water's a lot dirtier there.
What is the best? What do you guys say the best rain gear is? This is Trojans have served me well, Larry.
Sims. It's expensive, but it is the best rain gear.
Yeah, I use I use.
If
Under
you
Armour.
really want Sims and they have your size, I'm mad because I just got new rain gear for Christmas, and I really wanted the Sims CX rain gear. It is 50% off tomorrow in store at Susquehanna Fish and Tackle. So that's like 200. Well, it's like 220. I think it's 225 per piece, which is a ridiculous deal. It's normally 450.
Yeah, me and Larry won a set of rain gear a few years ago, and neither one of us bought them or tried put in for them.
Seriously?
Yeah,
You're retarded.
I know.
Yeah, if they have your size, Larry, that is a fantastic deal, and that's what probably. I mean, that's one of your like top 3 rain suits, and Sims makes all of the top 3.
Sims makes really good.
They're fantastic. Is the Bass Pro?
I don't know, dude.
So I noticed that the Bass.
AFCO makes some really good gear. It's
so-
just unaffordable.
Yeah,
I know
get some
people.
AFCO
I know 2
stuff.
people who have bought the AFCO, like the higher end AFCO suit, and both of them leaked.
I'm sure AFCO would probably back.
They
that.
have to have some kind of warranty. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they have to. I just got. I actually went with Hook, because it was
Hook
because
makes
it was on
decent gear.
it was on
Yeah.
sale. I wore it when I was down at Anna. I wore the bibs anyway. And they're the most comfortable bibs that I've ever rain bibs that I've ever had.
Yeah.
They're a lot more like form fitting than a lot of bibs are. So they don't like bunch up. Like if you got a bunch of clothes on and stuff, they don't like bunch up. They're more like wearing pants than like bulky loose rain gear.
That's what I hate about rain gear. Like if you have a jacket, most of it's like bulky and you don't have room to the second it stops raining, I take my jacket
Bro,
comes right
I
off.
don't like where even if, I mean, this is just me being a little girl, but I don't like where even if you're out in the rain and you're fishing, you have gear on, and that gear, even if you're not wet on the inside, it's still like sticking to you on the inside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I hate having a hood, like the hood up. So like the back of my neck always gets wet, and then I'm just miserable the rest of the day because the back of my neck got wet because I had the
So
hood
that
down.
your entire back is wet.
It's usually just like the top, but it's
Depends
it's
how
enough
hard
to
it's
be
raining.
it's enough to be annoying. Well, if it's raining that hard, I'll put the hood
Yeah.
up. And the other thing, like my Bass Pro gear had like these nylon cuffs on the inside, and they would soak, and then it would just wick up your arm. So like then your whole forearm's wet.
I have a pair of Under Armour Shoreman gear with Gore-Tex. And they're Under Armour bibs with Gore-Tex in them, and they're very light summer material. That's what I wear all the time in the rain during the spring and the summertime.
Yeah, Under
And,
Armour
dude,
used to make a really awesome
They have
fishing
been
set.
phenomenal.
They were super expensive. They were like it was like $1,000, but
What's that?
Under Armour made an actual like Under Armour fishing made rain gear, like fishing specific rain
Okay.
gear. It was Gore-Tex, but it was like $1,000 for the set. Like
This is
not
Under Armour
paying that much.
Gore-Tex, but it's summer and it's just the bibs. I think they were like $250 for them or something when I got them.
Yeah.
But
How do you like the
they've been great.
How do you like the Hook, Martin? I haven't been out in like the rain with it.
Hook is one of them brands that I actually have not experimented with very much.
I have a lot of their other gear, just not. I have a lot of
Did
their,
I? Dude, I don't even remember this.
I have a lot of their other gear, but I've never. This is the first time I've had like their rain gear. Summertime, I have a separate set that I keep for the.
Dustin, those are good looking bibs though. You can't lie. Like you could definitely go to a wedding in those with the right shoes.
Like summertime, I have a Columbia set that's just like nylon. They keep me dry. It's not super hot. Yeah, so that's what I wear in the summertime. I don't wear like the full on bibs or anything in the summertime. 5 years or so, good. That makes me.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That makes me happy. I caught
5
them on
years,
sale.
5 years, and they stay tight. You can't ask for much more than that.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
say Candace.
nasty Nate in the house, Tony. Tony Schultz in the house.
What's up, Tony?
What's up? What's up?
Ranger Ramon.
Ranger Ramon. That's who it was. Ranger Ramon.
Yeah. Candace caught those on sale. She bought them for me.
Yeah.
That was my Christmas present.
That's a good wife.
Yeah, she's
She knows
pretty
what you need.
I told her. She was like, "What do you want for Christmas?" I was like, "Here's the link." Gonna get the Under Armour sewed up and sell it. Yeah, I mean, you might as well. If it's just sitting there, just fix it.
Yeah.
Fix it and sell it at
I
the
love
fishing
my-
flea
I love
market
my
in
Under Armour
February.
stuff. I really love my Under Armour.
That's a good.
I can't
So there's
get
a lot.
I
Of,
told Scott, I said, Scott, if you get an opening, I said I definitely want to take opening, but he's full.
He's full. So we're getting into that time of year. We got a lot of stuff going on. There's one coming up. There's one at the Level Fire Department, I believe,
Yes.
this weekend. That's an antique fishing and hunting sale. A lot of antique stuff. Frank's got a table up there. He's gonna be selling a bunch of his antique lures. That would be Rob, Riverboat Rob. If you're watching, that's right up your alley. You can get a lot of that older stuff up there. February 3rd is in Laurel, Delaware is the Big Mouth Lures fishing show. That one's always good. A lot of good stuff there. There's always a lot of good stuff there. I might make my way down there for that one.
I will attempt to
Never
have a
been to that
table for that next year.
I
will try.
need some spinner baits, so I'm probably just gonna call Brian and have him make me up a bunch of spinner baits, and I'll just drive down there and pick them up.
Yeah.
That'll give me an excuse to drive down there. So then you have I think it's the first week of March, the MR
Back River.
Back River Neck Church, the MR Bass Flea Market.
They have one like is it the next day or the next weekend? They have one down that way too.
It's probably the next
Yeah,
weekend.
I think.
That's probably the
They have like outside
Middle
and
River-
inside. Yeah.
that Middle River, Essex Middle River.
Yeah, they have a little
thing.
bit of everything. It's not just like lures, it's boat stuff.
Yeah, the EBA flea market's coming up. I think that's at Hereford, in Hereford Fire Hall. So a lot of good shows coming up, and the reason I bring that up is, we were talking about, John was asking about, the swim bait thing and not being able to afford it. Those flea markets are a good place to pick up a lot of your stuff at. You can get a lot of good deals there. So if you need a new rod, UMA will be there this year as well. So if you need a new rod, some new reels, stuff like that, it's a good place to go to, get some stuff on the cheap, keep the expenses down. I will have a table at the MR Bass Flea Market. I always have good stuff out there. I'll have a variety of soft plastics and crankbaits for sale because I have way too much stuff. So come down, grab some stuff. I have a whole bag full of stuff. Like now, I have like a bag and like 2 boxes full of stuff that I need to offload.
What's your custom color?
Pale Rider.
You gonna have any of those?
Absolutely not.
Why not, Paul? Why won't don't you have any Pale Riders on sale?
because they catch fish.
The Pale Riders catch fish.
They flat out
Do the
catch
Pale Riders catch fish, Mr. Dubbers? He says, yes. He says anything from UMA Lure Company catches fish.
especially the pale rider, the Paul Batters named pale rider color.
He says, I've been there. When I see a bass come on the boat, I freak out.
I actually caught a bunch of fish on that crankbait at Lake Anna.
Damn it.
Soft plastic jerkbaits. That is one thing I don't have a lot of. It's funny, you know. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about, you know, stuff that you used to just like hammer fish on that you just, and for some reason you just don't throw it
I
anymore.
know. Yeah.
Dude, I can't tell you how many fish I've caught on a Zoom fluke. Well, I mean, you used to just hammer fish on a Zoom fluke. I don't throw it at all anymore. I don't even. I have 2 packs of soft plastic jerkbaits in my boat, and they're KBE Captain
people's
Chaz.
style changes over time. You find
Yeah.
different
Yeah,
things
for
that you
sure.
like and have confidence in.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
it's
like that's
a-
just a normal thing. Me and to be honest, like I feel like was it 3? It's probably like 3 years ago or so. Me and Steve didn't even throw crankbaits at all. Wasn't even something that we
Now it's
thought
all you
about.
throw.
I remember
Now,
there was
like-
a day we were fishing, like you were there, we were in Gunpowder and I was in Gunpowder, and we were doing pretty decent. You were like, oh, I'm not doing that good. I'm like, throw a crankbait. You were like, I don't even own a crankbait.
Yeah, dude, didn't throw a crankbait whatsoever, and then I just one day, dude, we started picking up crankbaits and started throwing crankbaits, and like, dude, you
Joe
don't-
DeVoe could throw a cigarette butt and catch bass. That dude is such a good fisherman. He just, I don't know what it is about Joe. Like Joe just he's just one of those people who
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what boat you put him on, he's catching fish. Joe's a hell of a fisherman.
I need a few soft plastic jerk baits. John, your dad's got a ton of soft plastic jerk baits. I
Yeah.
promise you.
I'm sure he's got plenty.
He's got plenty of them.
I asked a question the other day on Facebook. You know, the Demiki rig has been, you know, kind of a new bigger thing, you know, that's come out. You know, just kind of asked around what everybody's favorite Demiki rig bait was. Got a lot of feedback on that. I know Miles likes the Demiki Armor Shad. Jason Stevens likes the Baby Z2, you know, which is another. That's when I throw a lot. You know, which is another. That's when I throw a lot. I didn't mention the one that I throw. So the one that I've been throwing is the Berkeley Jordan Lee Champ minnow.
Hey, hold up.
I've had a lot of success on that.
This is literally the first time I'm looking at YouTube in forever since I started on here. We got Mike on here talking, and Trick Tens. What's up, guys? Sorry I couldn't hop on with you guys tonight. Let's make it happen soon.
Sure thing, man.
We need some time to promote it. I want to get my followers to join the chat.
Absolutely.
That'd be great. You guys,
more than happy to have you on, man.
that would be so much fun. You ever heard of Trick Tens before?
Not sure.
Tricked Tins John boats, man. Matthew Downs creates some insane John boat builds, dude. I mean, the guy is a really, really good welder. He takes John boats and makes basically a bass fishing platform out of all these John boats. Puts rod lockers, storage in them, battery platforms, switches, and just makes the most insane looking John boats that you will ever see on the market. It is absolutely insane. So we definitely pumped to have Matt come on the show. I did a little bit of John boat build myself. Went on Matthew's page and got tips. Bought a couple products from Matt that he makes. My mount for my graph is from Matt. And it has that custom bass cut in the side of it.
Oh, that's
And
great.
then it raises it up 10 inches. It's a really, really cool mount. So he makes really good products. I stand by it.
I found out. Speaking of mounts, I found when I was talking to Town Marine the other day. Skeeter makes a built-in dual craft mount, which is kind of cool. So it mounts right into the front. and is all through bolted. So I will definitely be doing that, especially because it's not very expensive. I'm really excited to get the new boat set up.
Mike, if you're still watching, my PB is 3.8. My PB is 6.8 ounces.
Chad's not a very good fisherman.
Yeah, my PB is 6.8 ounces, and that's on actually a big swim bait.
Was it?
Yeah,
Maggie?
It was on a big frog.
On that really?
It
On
was
that big
It
frog?
was
that
on
you
one of
showed me
those
that one
big
time?
ass frogs.
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Um,
I would throw that. I don't really count that as a swim
Yeah.
bait, but I would
it
throw
like
it's a big bait.
who else is making it?
Like I feel like this is one of my like issues with the swim bait world. Like not the swim bait community is anything big like gets labeled a swim bait, even if it's not a swim bait. Like it gets grouped in. And I don't say it gets labeled. It gets grouped in.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like the big top waters and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Isn't that frog a musky lure? Or like,
dude, it could be used as a musky lure. Like it's literally a 6-inch long paddle tail
It's a
frog.
big ribbon
really long.
It's a
curly
big
tail.
ass ribbit frog, is what
It's just
it
a big
is.
yeah,
it's
like
just
a big ribbon frog.
It's a big Stanley toad, is what it is.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's just one of my little minor annoyances with the swim bait community.
Yeah,
is they
I
they,
mean-
they all of those get.
it's definitely an upscale sized bait.
So like, you know, where do you draw the line at? Like, it's like it seems like they will label, you know, they will group together like certain top waters that are, you know, that happen to be made by swim bait makers get grouped into there. But then like the more mainstream, like are you going to group the Strike King Mega Dog in with those? Like you won't see those on a big bait site. It's a freaking 9-inch walking bait.
That's a big bait.
But you never see that grouped in there. I feel like people aren't gonna
Grouped into what? Because I see many big bait fishermen throwing the mega dog and talking about
not the
it
mega
as
bass,
a big bait.
not the mega bass one.
The mega bass.
I'm talking about the Strike King one, the Strike King Mega.
No, but I don't think Strike King. I don't think Strike King has the big bait.
But you see what I mean though? Like it's like
Yeah.
if it's not if it,
Some bait
very-
manufacturers are
it seems
like
very elitist.
appealing to the swim bait world though. Like I don't
That's
think
what I'm saying.
Strike King is attempting to do that.
right. That's what it seems very elitist. The community seems the community in general. I'm not saying everyone.
Who is telling you that this is a good bait? Essentially,
right? They're like, oh well, it's because it didn't. Oh well, it's made by Strike King. It's not a good bait.
you know. Well,
Like,
that's why
that's
That's why I am
I'd
going to
be
buy
straight- there's one-
5 or 6 of these new 6 and 7-inch paddle tails, and I'm going to test them for myself.
There's a specific Strike King bait that you will not ever find me without in the springtime. It will never leave my boat. I've caught
Bitsy bug. I said it. It's a bitsy bug.
Well, I don't throw a bitsy bug, so I just gave Kevin all of my bitsy bugs,
It's a bitsy bug.
and they were all in the package. There was
He's
only
lying
two
to
of
you.
them.
He's denying it because it's true.
No, it's a crankbait, and you know I'll never not have it in my boat. You know, just because it's made by Strike King and not made by Lucky Craft or OSP.
Hey, those are
or,
good crankbaits.
They are good crankbait. I never said they weren't good
I
crankbaits.
know. I'm just messing with you.
You know, OSP or Lucky Craft or you know any like just because they one costs $20 and one costs $7 doesn't necessarily make it a better bait. And I feel like there's a lot of that in the big bait world.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
if
there
it's,
is.
You know, oh well, that bait only costs
There's-
$50. It's not my $300 glide bait is.
There's
better
a
than
lot of bouginess
Yes.
in the swim bait world. Straight up, 100%. Your $300 glide bait does not make it better than such and such. But what I think...
I mean, sometimes it can.
It can, but that's what I'm trying to say. I think when you become an avid swim bait angler, you begin to decipher the differences between this swim bait and that swim bait. And this swim bait has this rate of fall and reacts this way to this, and this swim bait has this rate of fall and reacts this way to
just
this.
like any bait. Like
And you
I
can
can tell
kind of
when-
decipher when one bait will work different than another.
yeah, it's not just like I'm on a lot of big swim bait like Facebook groups,
Mm-hmm.
and you just see so much stuff with like, like newer people getting into it, and they're buying, they're buying lower end baits, and they're trying to get into it, and people are just like, oh, sell that crap. I'm
Yeah.
Like I literally, like I've witnessed those baits catching fish. Like,
Yeah.
those baits catch.
They catch fish.
And there's just this like elitist attitude that seems to come around. It's really disappointing because it's
discouraging.
there's a lot of gatekeeping.
It's very so. I'm not going to name any names. I'm just not going to go there on the podcast. You already know the story. You guys have already heard it. But coming up when I got into fishing, probably 8 or 9 years ago, when I got into fishing for the first time, I broke my leg racing dirt bikes. I couldn't do anything anymore. My good friend took me fishing to a pond.
John,
Started throwing some giant fucking bait into this pond, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm swim bait fishing," and I was like, "What are you gonna catch, a blue whale?" I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, I just had no like belief in it whatsoever, and as he took me out more and more, and I'm not saying he caught a shitload of fish on it or anything like that, but I watched him catch fish on it. I started understanding pond fishing a little bit more.
and it was interesting to you.
Yeah, it was interesting, and it kind of lit a fire under my ass, and now we are where we are here. We have a podcast that we do every single Friday night for the past 2 years.
John, if you knew the number of big fish that I've caught on a jitterbug, you would not be making that joke.
Oh my goodness.
Slept on for sure.
For sure.
Jitterbug.
I have caught a lot of big fish on a
commercial?
jitterbug.
Yeah.
But the glides it was something where I got into it, and then I had some run-ins with people in the swim bait community that were just really, really negative towards people that they didn't think were as good as them, or had baits as expensive as them, or had the knowledge that they had, and they talk down to you.
Yeah,
They make
it's
you
like
feel bad about yourself,
if you
about
pay
what
less
you're
than,
doing.
Right. If you pay less than $200 for a bait, you're not as good as them.
Or if, hey, you just got into swim baits.
I
Stop
watched
talking.
Nate-
Shut up.
I
and
watched
stop
Nate-
talking
I knew
about
this
it.
was
I watched Nate whip my ass with a big ass spinning rod with like 25-pound mono on
20-pound fluoro.
it. And like, it's what works for you. Like
Yeah.
it's just you don't have to have a $1,000 rod combo. And that's the other thing. Like if you're guy, it's
Hit that
so
like and that share button, boys. Let's get some more people back in this lobby.
it's
Let's
so-
go. Hit
it's-
that like button.
It's so ironic that they'll say, oh well, I only throw this swim bait, and I only throw this swim bait, but then they're like, oh yeah, but you don't need anything better than a Dobbins Fury. Like, well, yeah, Dobbins Fury is a good rod, but it's like you're not really, you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah.
Like if you say that the more expensive equipment is better, like if that's your ground, you better be throwing a Mega Bass Destroyer, or some of the other like a Ghost Code or something, something like that. Yeah, I knew about that. See,
Yep.
I do my research.
But the thing is, you don't need it. It's nice to have, but you don't need it.
And it's not like a Ghost Code's an expensive rod.
No.
But it's got
It's
the
purpose made.
But it's got the name because they only make swim bait
It's
rods.
purpose made.
Yeah. So is my St. Croix swim bait rod. You know
what I mean?
my St. Croix
But
Bass X swim bait rod. Guess what? It's made for throwing swim baits.
You know how many people can throw a 6-inch mag draft on a freaking jig rod?
I throw a 6-inch mag draft harness, not the freestyle. Mm-hmm. I throw it on a 7.3 medium heavy.
Yeah.
Like it's not, it gets thrown on my Carolina rig rod. Like it's not anything special. And I throw a 6-inch mag draft a lot.
Big glides are not worthless around here in Tidal. You don't even own a big glide.
He does.
Not not an 8-inch glide.
Well, 7. I mean, I know he's got some 7 inches.
It's not. They're not worthless here in title. They're not.
I would say
I'm
a
not. First off,
9-inch
so
glide might be a little excessive, but
no.
and this isn't coming from me. I actually the owner of Black Talon. I asked him about it.
Chads are good bait. They will catch you fish in the right situation. We have both sat here. We've talked about multiple times throwing chads and stuff on the bay and stuff before. We've caught fish on them. We've had success on them. Your time will come. Do not give up on it.
You just have to learn when to throw it.
There is a time and there is a place for that bait, and you just have to learn when it is. And
Right, and we have lots of baits that are like that. You know, I don't throw a 10-inch worm all year round. I throw it in a specific time period. You know, I've got there's a small window that I know that's the bait I need to be throwing. Certain conditions, line up for it. Swim bait fishing's not any different.
I promise
there's a time and a place for it.
Greg, I'm not telling you to keep one of these baits on your deck at all times. You already own the baits, but what I'm trying to say is you're a smart fisherman. You know what's going on out there. I think you just need to take a little bit more time and realize when the actual correct time is to throw that bait to make a difference in what you're doing. And sometimes you don't even use that bait to put a fish in your live well. Sometimes you're using that bait to distinguish what type of fish are in the area that you're fishing. It's a search tool. There's multiple ways to use a big bait as a tool over a catching object. It's both, but you have to utilize it as a tool for what it is.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
how I feel about these big
It's
baits,
just
in my opinion.
And it's just like any other bait.
And to say that, I hear so many people, to say that the upper bay, well, like brackish water, it's not a bullshit. That freaking, once you get that grass up out there, sometimes that freaking shit looks like Dasani Deer Park water out there. Yeah. It is crystal clear, and the fish can definitely see it.
Especially up on like Haverty Grace. I mean, there's so much clean water up on when you get up there.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh, it's no, this isn't Loch Raven. You can't throw that here. You've got clear water up there on the bay. There is places to throw that bait
for sure. Like I said, I'm not gonna throw a 9-inch glide bait. I was actually, talking to the owner and maker of.
Got a 9-inch glide?
I don't.
The owner of Black Talon, when I won that swim bait when he was on the show, and he even said he's like the big baits on the flats they don't seem to work that well, and this you're talking to a guy that's very, very, very proficient at throwing big baits, and he said that 6 to 7 inch does work. And it's kind of the same thing that we found. That 6 to 7 inch is the main.
What kind of bait forage do we have swimming around?
I mean, if you look at the springtime, I mean, when you get in that herring run and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, that herring run is like
3-inch to 5-inch.
No, springtime herring. I mean, you're
7, 8.
You're 7 to 10.
You have forage of very big bait around here. If you don't think that these fish will eat big gizzard shad or mud shad or anything of that nature, you're wrong.
Well, no, I'm not saying that they won't eat it. It's just
I know that we're on that page, but there's people out there that don't think that is a thing. These bass aren't chasing 8-inch freaking gizzard shad. The fuck they aren't. Yes, they are.
I think there's going to be certain times a year that they'll eat them. I think that the biggest issue with the gizzard shad is they don't really get in the right areas until the bass stop eating bait that big.
Right.
So I think that's one of the reasons why your bigger glide baits don't work as well. It's because of the size of the forage is not it's like you're gonna get that curiosity bite every once in a while or that reaction bite every once in a while.
But that's also one of those tools that you are utilizing at the same time with that bait. You're kind of also at the same time, hey, there's fish here that are tracking this bait. They're active enough to track this bait. And or if you can see the fish follow your bait back, you can visually see these are the fish that... That's what a lot of people do that lake fish. They get followers. They diagnose where the fish are. They see the fish swim back to their spot. They come back there the next day and they throw a jig on top of them or something.
But I think
It's a tool.
That's one of the things that it's hard to do in tidal water because
Yes.
it's hard.
They move.
It's
Yeah.
hard. Well, one, they move, and two, it's hard
They don't
to
just
see.
sit there.
It's hard to be able to see followers.
Yeah.
Most of the time. But like I said, the guy from Blacktown, I can't remember his name. But really went into detail about fishing glide baits on the Upper Bay, fishing them on the flats, and he said he's had moderate success fishing like a 6-inch glide bait, but the 8-9-inch glide baits he's never really had any success, not for lack of trying. So it's just kind of interesting that works out, and it probably has a lot to do with predominant forage, and the size of the predominant forage and stuff like that. Because most of our bait is going to be 6 inches and less. The
Most of
majority
it's going to be 6 inches or less for sure, but there is always that.
But that's the thing. Like
There's
you
always
can't,
that big fish that's out there that's seeking that
Unless you
higher
throw it all-
caloric meal without expending
Unless you throw it-
the amount of calories.
it's it's
to
one of those
chase a
things
small
like
meal.
throwing it. You have to
call
throw
it-
it all the time
They
to be
call
able
it
to find that
the
fish.
big bait theory. We've all read about it. The big bait theory is that a big bass would
big baits
rather
get big
have
fish.
a big caloric intake and spend less calories or energy chasing something than chasing multiple small meals for.
Well, and it looks
You know
like
what I mean? Like
it's and a lot of that is very dependent on time of year.
there's very
Water
many.
temperature.
There's very many things.
There's so many variables.
Water
that go into it.
temperature, time of the year, visibility is massive in swim baits. And I will fully agree that visibility is massive in swim baits. That changes the way that we fish swim baits around here. But then again,
Oh yeah, huge bass.
here's the thing. How many bass are you catching in 3 to 4 feet? You catch a lot of bass in 3 to 4 feet.
I'll probably on the Upper Bay, probably 75 to 85% of the fish that I catch.
So you're telling me right now, if you're throwing a 6 or a 7-inch glide bait or a 6-inch paddle tail in a 3 to 4 foot water column, that a bass isn't going to notice it? I don't even care how muddy it is. It could be dirt muddy out.
The problem is
You're
it's-
pulling that big giant bait past them, they're going to feel it. They're going to know
they're
it's
gonna
there.
know.
like they may feel it and they may know it's there, but are they going to eat it?
That's the thing. You don't know.
You don't
but
know
the
unless you throw it
presence
all
of
the
the
time.
bait will be known.
You're never going to know if that if one of those if one or two of those big fish are going to bite all day
Yeah.
unless you're throwing it all day.
Yeah.
And if you're in it, if you're going out to do that and find just catch a big fish, I'll tell you one thing: if Setlock's big fish tournament in May, if that had happened, I would have been throwing big baits.
Yeah.
Because I'm only looking for one fish.
Big fish, yeah.
I'm not looking, in a tournament. I'm looking for 5 4-pounders. 5 4 to 5 pounders. Like that's what I'm looking for. I have a higher percentage opportunity of catching them throwing something else other than something other than a big bait. But if I was fishing a big fish tournament, hell yeah, I'm throwing a glide bait. You better believe I'm throwing that glide bait.
You want to know something else that is an absolute riot to throw a big bait at? And this is something that
Stripers.
you could get into. Good fucking striper fishing.
Dude, I live.
Throw some freaking big freaking wooden walking baits for stripers or so one day I went on my boy Chase's boat out to the eastern shore. You fished with Caleb before, right?
Yeah.
Caleb.
Yeah.
They've gone out. It was I don't even know why I brought Caleb up to this, but they've gone out to this spot before. We've gone out to this spot out on the shore. Dude, I was throwing a freaking 7-inch slammer out there. We got onto this nice striper bite, dude. These freaking stripers were tearing up this 7-inch slammer, dude. I was having a freaking day just hooking into them on this 7-inch slammer. Everybody else was throwing the normal walking spooks, your head and spooks and stuff. Dude, I was tearing them up on the slammer, just having a good old time. It was just fun. It was fun to do. It was something different.
I call it. So I live scoped a few stripers in one of the ditches out on the flats early this spring, and I shine I'm fishing up this grass edge, and this ditch doesn't have any grass in it. And I shine live scope out there, and I saw a bunch of fish out there. I was like, those are stripers. Picked up that Chad, I threw it out there and live scoped like 3 of them in like 4 casts. And it was great. It was fantastic. I mean, they just absolutely hammered it.
Them stripers do not
So
like
much fun.
freaking. Hey, what's up,
Yeah, they don't
Gromster?
play.
Them stripers, the Whopper Plopper is a deadly weapon. I think, dude, one of the first people that actually, now that Adam is watching, dude, one of the first people that might have introduced me to the Plopper was Gromster.
No, they don't work. They don't catch fish.
Yeah, don't buy any. But at one point, I might have caught a shitload of them in a pond.
Yeah, oh yeah, but they don't work on tidal.
Like when
No, they do
when
not
first
work
came
on
out.
tidal water. Don't buy them for tidal water. But it was just so much fun, man. And Adam is actually the guy that I was telling you about that when I broke my leg, he put me in a chair and we were fishing a pond and Adam was just throwing this giant bait. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Sorry, had to take a text message break there. Yeah, dude, catching stripers on a swim bait was, I ain't gonna lie, that was fun.
Yeah.
Like, you could definitely get into that. I mean, they weren't big, but I mean, but they were like, 20
Still
to
fun
20,
to catch.
20 to 25 inch. Not like the giants I was catching on a jerkbait when I was practicing for that Mr. Bass tournament.
Yeah.
I was catching like freaking 25-pound stripers on a Mega Bass 110 with stock hooks.
Did they fight
On-
as hard as
on
that
10-pound line.
as that blue cat that you live scoped?
Well, that was on a medium light spinning rod with 8-pound line. But the one I caught in that tournament, I was fishing up around Garrett Island, and like it decided it was going to the
Upriver.
north end of Garrett Island, and there wasn't nothing I was doing to stop it. My co-angler netted it for me, and of course, the freaking DN, like I wanted to get a picture of it because it was definitely the biggest striper I've ever caught, weight wise. The freaking DNR boat had just stopped us. It was just like sitting like 100 yards away from us. So, and it was in the closed season, so I didn't want to like pull it up out of the water to do it, so we just netted it at the side of the boat and unhooked it and let it go. But it was in that like 25-pound range.
Yeah.
On again, Mega Bass jerkbait, stock Mega Bass hook, those crappy stock Mega Bass hook, 10-pound fluoro on a medium action jerkbait rod. Hilarious. My co-angler was freaking out. He was like, "That's the biggest striper I've ever seen." I was like, "It's not even that big up here." I mean, it was probably mid 30 inches, mid 30, like 30,
fat,
like
though.
35. But it was like that thing was like this big around.
He's also made top water baits.
Are you talking about black? Oh, black. Yeah, he's talking about Black Talon. Yeah, he makes some he makes some really awesome striper baits.
Big, what is it, like a big plug?
Yeah, it's just like big topwater walking, like punker style baits. Yeah, he makes some awesome striper baits, and they are very popular in the that Jersey striper surf fishing world. Yeah. They're very, very popular.
You don't throw like any big size baits whatsoever. You scared of it, bro?
They can't talk about it,
Sometimes.
but not like a big swim bait.
Not big swim baits.
Definitely not like a big swim bait.
Just throwing a big old freaking big old Walker bait. One of those big old Sammy baits.
Vixen.
I have done that.
They're big old. They're them Sammy 198s or whatever
That's
they
a
are.
big bait.
That's a big bait. It's
Yeah.
like a but that's the thing though, dude. That's like an 8-inch or a 9-inch walking bait for like $40.
7 3/4.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
7 3/4 inch.
Yeah.
I think so. I was up there fishing for those stripers last year in the springtime up in the river, and I caught like a 3-pound smallie on like a 9-inch jerk bait. It was like the jerk bait was like half as long as a fish. And it's like,
I hear-
what are you doing?
I mean, I hear people that troll like those big shad wrap. They troll those big shad
Yeah,
wraps.
the
I hear
super
about them.
shad wraps.
I hear about them
Yeah.
catching smallmouth all the time.
Yeah, and they're big like every time.
But they're like, I mean, they are big smallmouths.
Yeah.
Smallmouth are aggressive. I don't throw anything that big for smallmouth. Maybe I should, but
I caught smallmouth that were smaller than my glide bait on the glide bait. They're just smallmouth are naturally more aggressive than largemouth.
The first fish I ever caught on a 10XD was a 6-inch smallmouth.
They just I don't
swear-
know why, but like
I
dude, they
swear
just
that-
hammer shit they do not want near them.
A 10XD's got a 2-aught treble hook on it. How the hell did a
Did you
6-inch
even get
bass?
this like in your mouth? Like
Like, how did you get that hook in your mouth? But it tried to eat a 10XD, and it was a smallmouth that was this long. A 10XD is like this long. The
John
bass was like
says
this
he
long.
likes chasing stripers like he likes chasing girls. John,
Well,
you're 13
I was gonna
years
say
old.
you must not do a lot of striper fishing.
You must do a lot of striper fishing.
You either do a lot of striper fishing or no striper fishing at all. I was not chasing girls at 13. Put it that way.
Me neither, but I think I noticed them.
I noticed.
I think I knew I wasn't gay when I was 13.
I mean, I knew I wasn't gay when I was in kindergarten.
Okay, well, there we go. We're there. He said 14.
14. Well, okay, 14. I was starting to chase girls at 14.
Yeah.
I was definitely still chasing stripers more than I was chasing girls at 14.
So-
You're still chasing fish more than you are.
I think a lot, like like sophomore year of high school is when I got
Yeah.
way more interested in girls than I did fish.
Gromster says the Loch Raven chain pickerels will eat a depths 250 all day long.
Oh yeah.
And dude, you're talking about a freak. Is the depths a 12 or a 10-inch bait?
Well,
I think it's a 12-inch glide.
It's 250. It's like 10.
10?
It's 250 millimeters.
It's a giant glide.
So
But, and
it's just
you know
under
the
10.
thing is that I like the depths baits. They make great glides. The only thing that I have never liked about it is that I just feel like it doesn't match the hatch.
It's 9.8 inches.
That's not that big.
That's not what she
I
said.
said 10.5.
Okay, it's big. But I just feel like it doesn't match the hatch with what we have. A gizzard shad profile or a shad profile was much different than a trout. We don't see too much. Loch Raven's got trout, but it's not like, I don't know.
It's not what they're always.
It's one of them deals where it's kind of like I just feel like there's a natural draw to a bait that's that big coming across the water and the motion that it is. It almost doesn't even matter what profile.
Tackle Warehouse listed at 10 inches.
Okay. The 250,
Yeah.
10 inches. See, I have a couple 175, so I guess it's probably an 8-inch bait.
So I feel like my math is correct.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the 250 is 250 millimeters, which
Yeah.
would be 9.8 inches.
We need gators up in the Northeast. No, we don't.
I think he-
Well, there's a
Gators in the
dragon.
Northeast.
Are you talking about alligators or are you talking about northern pike? Because I could get down for some northern pike.
Yeah.
There's some around, but did you see that video that Tom Over took
Which one?
this summer? The northern pike that he saw in Swan Creek.
Oh, I think so.
He's just like swimming in front of his boat. Like, and you can tell like from the video, like he's close enough to it. Like you can, that's 100% northern pike.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know there's pike in the Susquehanna. So I mean, it's not like out of the realm, but I guess the water's just too warm around here, for the most part. Yeah, I love catching northern pike. That's one of my favorite things to do. Like, I will say that usually, like if I fish a tournament on Deep Creek, I'll go out for like 2 or 3 days before, and I'll spend like a full day like just trying to catch pike. Like I know some areas that they hold in, and I just put like a 2.5 square bill on and just go crank the heck out of some stumps. And it's usually always good for like a 25 plus inch northern pike. Biggest one I caught out there, I caught on a Senko. I caught one that was pushing 36 inches on a Senko.
Really?
Yeah, out of a grass bed out there. Just a Texas rig Senko, like an eighth or quarter ounce weight or something. I'm just like fishing this grass edge, and I feel a donk, and I set the hook, and I look at my co-angler. I was like, "Holy crap, that's a big one!" And then all I feel is, vroom, vroom, vroom. I'm like, "That's pike." Like you could just feel it just swinging its head back and forth,
Yeah.
and it was pushing 36 inches. God, it's so much fun.
Maybe this year. See, I'm going to take you up on it. We got to go out there and throw one of them big-ass punkers and get me one of them big old rock fishies.
Let's go.
Some big old fish sticks out there.
So the only time that I've ever encountered a gator, when I lived in Florida, I encountered one gator while
You
I was
lived
there.
in Florida?
Yeah, for like 6 months.
It bit you.
Bad time of my life. No, so we were playing golf, and you know the guy it was a 9-hole golf course. It used to be in Daytona Beach, and you know we pay our fee, and guys like just watch out on hole 7. Yeah, there's a big gator that lives in the pond, and like the pond's like down so like the tee box is here, and then it goes down, and then there's like a pond at the bottom. You can't really see it. And I hit a drive down through there, and we drive the cart up, and I walk over, and it is the biggest animal I've ever seen in my life. I think they said it was like somewhere around 11 feet. Dude, this thing looked like a freaking dinosaur. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I mean, we were probably from here.
It is a
from here to our trucks
dinosaur.
from it.
Look at the freaking thing. It is definitely a dinosaur.
The
That's
thing's-
what it is.
The thing's feet were like this big. And it just it gets up and just it would just walk down to the water
Dude,
real
Nate
slow.
would have done like a log
I was like,
run
yeah, I'm
across
like-
that thing.
I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna take a drop. my ball was sitting like 15 feet from this gator. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Drop. It was pretty. That thing was mad. I feel like in this area of the world we get we're really jaded about the size, the actual size of some of these animals, like gators and like grizzly bear, stuff.
Oh
like that.
yeah, you have no idea.
And like being 30 feet away from an 11-foot animal, it's insane like how intimidating that is.
You guys want to know who we have somebody coming on the podcast here soon that'll be able to tell you about getting up close and personal with some over 11-foot animals? We got Mr. Phil Givens coming on the show.
Oh yeah.
In February 9th. February 9th, I believe. It's a Friday. It's like the first or second week of February. We got Mr. Phil Givens coming on the show.
That's a dragon, Adam. A gator. A gator.
Big
is a pike.
snakeheads equals gator.
Gators are pike.
Dude, I can definitely see the confusion there.
Gators are pike. A big pike is a gator. You can't give that name to a snakehead.
But we will have Mr. Phil Givens come on the show. Mr. Phil has been making.
I'm just kidding, Adam.
He's been to KVD's house. He's been up in Alaska
That
on
was
some
the fun-
big elk.
I'm not gonna lie.
Moose hunts, elk hunts, big deer hunts, bear hunts. I mean,
That's the funniest story that Evan's ever told me.
insane. He's got some good fishing stuff to talk about, but we're gonna have some really good outdoor topics to talk about just all around.
Did Evan tell you that story about KVD's house?
He told me about it.
Phil had no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. Who
I
Kevin
just
Van
want to
Dam
hear
was.
it from Phil
And-
because I just feel like it'll be classic.
Evan's like, yeah, he calls me up and he's like, yeah, man, I'm at some fisherman's house. And he's like, his name's like Kevin Van Dam or
KVM or
KVD, something
He's
like that.
KVF or something weird.
He's like fishing in the pond in
He's like,
KVD's backyard.
You're at KVD's house right now. He's like, yeah, that's his name. He's like, what the fuck? They had no idea who the guy was, but be awesome.
I thought you were gonna say Chubbs.
Well, he also just got done doing the walkthrough video for Mike Iaconelli's new Bass Cat.
Oh, nice.
So he was just with Mike doing the walkthrough with Mike Iaconelli on his new Bass Cat. So if you go on Mike Iaconelli's page, I don't know if it's up yet, but Mike Iaconelli is going to post a video of his new boat coming up here, and Phil will have videotaped that. Phil did that.
I don't know if he's posted that yet or not.
I don't know if he's posted it yet or not. They all do it. Every pro does it.
All right.
They all talk
they
about
gotta
their
talk
boats
about
when
their-
they get every year, 100%.
Got to support your sponsors.
Absolutely. But Phil took care of that video. He's big in the scene. He does really good stuff. One thing I can say, I can't take any credit. I don't do near what Phil does, but dude, being a content creator is 50 times harder than you think it is. I don't care who you are. We have 9 people watching right now. I don't care who you are.
Live streams.
We just do live show. We take video, and I try to make some clips and some videos out of what we do.
Video editing is and I do.
It
a lot
is
of,
an armpit, bro.
I do. I think the reason that I've never done it as much for like my YouTube channel is because I do a lot of it at work. Not the same type of video editing, but I'm making educational material.
Right.
And to make a like a produced 5-minute video takes
Hours.
8
days.
hours. 8 hours of video video editing.
It's dumb.
For us to make a 5-minute video, we put it's 8 hours of work to make.
I sit here for 2 or 3 hours to make some of the 45-second and 1-minute clips to edit for you guys of video that we've taken. It takes forever to do this stuff. I'm not trying to take it.
Martin, it's not hard for the girls showing their butthole. But you don't need. I mean, if you're showing your butthole, you don't need the best video.
I'm not trying to say take away, but like what I am trying to say with this is I have a lot of respect for people that are social media. Okay, I don't have respect for all social media influencers. I have a lot of respect for social media influencers.
John, there's kids here.
That film their own stuff, that make their own videos, that are informational, and
well, now it makes me.
It takes a lot of time to do that shit.
Right. It really.
This is if I would have to if I wanted to do Bass and Beer Radio. And be one of these professional freaking podcasts.
You'd have to quit your job.
I'd have to quit. I would have to quit my job and do this full time. And I can't even get you guys to donate $1 damn to some of my shit. That was for the Bass Fishing Federation, and not the bass. It was for the. It was the stock when we did the stocking fund with MR Bass. That was what it was for.
Yeah.
I didn't get $1. I didn't get $1 for the stocking fund for
just
MR
trying to make
Bass.
fishing
So I was
better.
like, I'm just trying to make fishing better. You're not even helping me.
Oh. I mean, doing some of that myself, like I really understand why a lot of these professional anglers hire somebody to do that for them. Yeah. So like, I know Phil. I know Phil's worked with Ryan Salzman.
Dude, some of these guys are charging $1,000 a day to come out and do this stuff because of the amount of work that is entailed.
I mean, it's insane.
But who can afford that? Who can afford $1,000 a day to? Unless you're at that level.
Martin says nobody donated because you'd blow it all. That
is not true. It was going straight to Scott. Don't say that on the air, Martin.
That's between
never happen.
It's between you and us, Martin.
All right, fine. I'll put it in Paul's name next time. God.
Yeah.
I don't want to get spent on UMA crankbaits.
Yeah, probably. Or big mouth horse spinnerbaits.
We might have dropped a little bit of juice about one of our other guests that we have coming on the show, but who do we have coming on the show next week, Paul?
So next week, speaking of UMA crankbaits, we have Mr. Tyler Hawthorne, who's going to be live with us.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Talking about some of those UMA crankbaits and the design process and just some general fishing because
absolutely
Tyler loves to talk fishing.
Tyler's a riot. He's a good person. Tyler has backed Bass and Beer Radio since we started.
From day one.
Tyler's
a good dude.
He's a good person. He believes in us.
I tried to kill him in a tournament once.
You did. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about that next week too. He believes in us. He believes in what we're doing. He appreciates what we're doing. He supports us, and we can't thank Tyler enough for supporting us through all this time and just being behind us. There were some times where we were slow, and then we kind of we got that foot in the ass that we needed and kind of picked things back up, and we're here, and we're thankful to be here. We're thankful for everybody that supports us to be here and do this. So thankful.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like once I got involved, I kind of gave you a little kick in the ass.
I mean, everybody has given us a kick in the absolutely.
We had some slow times though.
There's been some slow times. There's been some high times. There's been some slow times. Been some weird times, but
Justin donates his time giving the fish training on what not to do.
At the end of the day, we've gone in the right direction. We're doing the right thing. Appreciate you. Appreciate Rob and Tony and Kevin and anybody else that's been a part of it. We had Skylar on here when we first started. I appreciate Skylar. Skylar was part of the team too. Johnny, what's up, Johnny? Oh my gosh. My boy Johnny Pipes is on the air. What's up, brother?
Dustin. I'll
Yeah,
say,
bass and beer, baby.
Dustin has schooled probably every fish on the Upper Bay not to eat a spinnerbait.
Yeah.
That man can.
Bradley?
throw-
Yeah,
that man
Bradley.
can-
We've
that
had
man can
Bradley
catch
on a
fish
lot. Little Bradley's also always great to have on. I always love having Bradley come on.
Bradley's awesome.
But yeah.
You know,
Well,
if little John actually fished some Thursday nighters, he might get to come
I
on.
think that's going to happen this year.
Well, as long as he comes out and
I think
fishes.
that's going to happen. He's going to come out and fish. I think he's going to go down to Santee. He's going to go down to Norman. They're
And
going
they
to go.
open the door.
There's a little.
Um,
Paul is keen to when Bubs needs to come in
I
there.
read the comments.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
Let Bubs in.
yeah, if he comes out and fishes some tournaments, maybe he'll get on here. But it's a 5 tournament minimum.
I think we're going to have Mr. John and Little John on after they come back from Santee and Norman. Talk
that'd be
about some
cool.
of those adventures. That'll be a lot of fun. And I'm definitely counting on John Hanson being at more Thursday Nighters this year.
I'm hoping not.
We're hoping not because he's a good fisherman. I'm hoping so because he's a good friend. That being said, it's just, that's what the Thursday Nighters, in my opinion, is all about. It's about going out there and catching fish and, being a good fisherman. But at the end of the night, pulling back to the ramp, pulling up, and spending some time with all of your friends, talking about bass fishing, is the icing on the cake every single Thursday night.
I mean, I'm more like in those like late August, early September tournaments. When they start too early for Nate to get there.
But you just know that you'll never beat. Well, actually, you will beat Kevin this year, but you won't beat Rob. You ain't gonna beat Rob this year.
I ain't gonna beat Rob.
Thursday Nighters?
Oh, beat Rob there?
I don't think so.
Two.
Wasn't Rob there like 12 o'clock every week?
No,
last
Kevin.
year?
That's Kevin.
Well,
Kevin-
I know it was Kevin,
Kevin
but
was-
Rob was a close second.
It was Kevin.
Or Chad.
Kevin and Chad.
Chad was always there like 1 o'clock.
Chad
Yeah.
was there hella
Yeah,
early,
it was always
too.
Chad, and then Clint.
See, Kevin's just gonna lock it down, or Chad's just gonna lock it down.
I think
for
I
Kevin.
beat
Or
Rob
is
in
Chad
most tournaments.
is Chad gonna fish with Tony this year?
I don't know.
He's fishing with Kevin.
I think he's fishing with Kevin.
I think he's fishing with Kevin.
Yeah, I think they're. Yeah, I think so.
I think they're fishing with Kevin.
I got vacation time, so I might have to use a couple of those.
Don't use
On the
vacation
Thursday
time for a
nighters.
Thursday
Hold
nighter.
up.
They don't pay
It's like
nearly
the multiple
enough.
Thursday nighters.
They don't pay nearly enough to use vacation time for.
Well, I'll just go fishing.
And really, like, in a 15 boat tournament, like the difference between being boat one and
I'll
boat
take
10.
off for the solstice.
So I feel like that would be kind of fun. Like, I don't know if this is what Martin. Okay, don't knock over the mic, Bubs.
Chad and Clint.
I don't know if this is what Martin meant, but dude, what if we? How funny would it be if we did one of those things where like every week you almost like
Ain't nobody worried.
you switched with somebody else, you fished with a different partner every week, but it was all
I did
people
that.
that were there every week. So like, you know what I mean? Like, even if they had a boat, like they'd be like, okay, I'm just fishing with Paul this week, so I'm not fishing my boat. Like, so like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, it would just be fun to
I
just
fish
have
one with Rob.
just have like multiple different partners like all throughout the season. You get to know everybody.
Just a
It'd
draw
be
every
super
time.
cool. Yeah,
I mean,
basically, yeah.
draw.
I don't.
Super tight.
I only fish with Candace, so.
All the secrets are already out for the Thursday for those.
Hold on, no,
Miles,
dude,
does anybody
hold on,
work?
dude, I'm
No,
following that
ain't nobody
freaking
work here.
shiny red boat back to the spot.
Ain't nobody work here, Miles. Actually, I work from home and I live a mile and a half from the ramp, so like I can get off at 2 and I'm at the ramp at 2:05.
Look, bro, I'm a fish with my boy Bubbers right here, and y'all going down. This my boy. You gonna go out and fish, Mr. Bubbers?
Yeah, I feel like me and Candace need some multiple wins this year. We've been slacking the last couple years.
I really slacked this year. I
Can
had
happen.
2/3, I think.
Can definitely happen.
We won. I think we won 2.
I didn't win Big Snakehead at all this year. The year
Oh, no,
before,
we
I
did
won it
win
like
2.
6 times.
The second,
know what? You
the
know what,
second one that I
John?
won, I was by my.
I'm
was
sad
by
that you
myself.
said that because I fished so badly last year with Steve. It was like, I don't know. This year is going to be different. You mark my words.
Miles.
The Miles was hanging out at the ramp and didn't make it into the sign up line
I
in time.
remember.
There was one there was one tournament where somebody went out fishing and like we all got in line to sign up. You know, we're all waiting to sign up. And like he comes back in from fishing and like oh, I was the first one here. I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
No.
Like same
No.
like if I go out fishing, like I'm not like I'm forfeiting my spot in line. Like I actually have to wait in line just because if we wanted to do that, like I'll just go park my boat down there and walk back home and work all day. Like my boat will be there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I did that like 3 or 4 times last year. Like went out before the tournament and fished, and then came back and fished the tournament. And I every single time I hurt myself. I caught at least one big fish every time before the tournament.
Oh, Martin, that is awesome. I'm glad you brought that up because I think that should be Chad's New Year's resolution to not fish from the back of his own boat.
I'll do whatever I want from the back of my own boat.
I do what I want.
I know what I want. You don't tell me nothing, devil woman.
Miles said solstice he'll be there at 6 a.m.
Oh my God. I'm taking off work on solstice.
Let's do it.
I'll do it.
I'm gonna go
I
find.
will, dude.
We'll just go get drunk in the parking lot until.
Yeah.
No, here's what we're gonna do. Let's do 6 a.m. We're all gonna meet there. We're gonna go beat the crap out of Joppatown. We'll all run to the flats for the tournament.
Miles, we're using your boat.
I do have to say, Bass and Beer Radio will only be promoting drinking multiple beers after the tournament this year. After.
Okay.
Please
We're
don't
not going to
drink
be
before the
doing. We're
tournament.
not going to be doing. We can't be promoting people drinking and going out on boats or doing anything like that before. But we can promote you drinking and then driving home afterwards.
I mean, we don't know that you didn't call an Uber.
Yeah, an Uber truck towed my boat home. The truck can stay, but the boat's got to go.
I don't know that you didn't call a designated driver. So like after that, like I know
my
you're
partner's
going
What are
fishing.
you scared about?
Oh, I'm not scared of me. I'm talking
Mr.
about for other
Mr.
people.
10 feet from the rim.
I was talking about promoting other people doing it.
Yeah. No.
I
don't promote.
I'll walk home.
That was a full-on joke. I don't promote anybody doing that. But I will say that the beers will be more prevalent after our tournaments than before we start, for safety reasons and for respect purposes. And that's all. I will indulge in a couple,
Thursday night,
but
Thursday
it will
night there are
not
more
be-
cases of beer on the front
Wow,
decks than
no.
fishing rods.
Hold up, but tell me, we have more turnout now because so.
I think I think we've really established a good community.
Yeah, we have a good community.
You know,
definitely.
we have a good community. You know, everybody's friendly.
Yep.
You know, we don't get into too many arguments except when Kevin yells at people for running over their spot.
Yes. Or Tony. Tony was mad that day too.
Which day was Tony mad?
When he was on that juice out near the bridge, almost, and then he had somebody come right up on him.
I don't remember that. Oh, wait. Oh, because I yeah.
You were
I-
there.
I
You
was-
were right in between them, like.
that was me and Tony had been fishing that spot for weeks,
Yes.
and like the dude comes up in the parking lot and just like
I'm
makes
gonna
a
follow
joke.
you there.
Like, oh, I'm just
I'm gonna follow
I'm
you
just,
there.
I know we're just gonna follow you. No, I pull, like I'm ahead of Tony. Like I pull in over here. Tony pulls in over here, and this dude sits down right next to Tony.
After telling him in the parking lot that
And
he
when
was
I
gonna
follow him.
When I say
straight up did it too. Like,
when I say right next to Tony, like 15 feet.
but like,
I mean,
dude,
15
if you
feet
know,
away from
If
him.
you know Tony, like, bro, it's weird because Tony is like, Dude, when Tony goes hostile, bro. But
That's
Tony
that's
is
the roids.
Tony is calm as a cucumber all the way until 9 out of 10. Like, dude, he stays calm as a cucumber all the way until 9 out of 10. Like, bro, we were fishing out on the flats one day, and we were fishing this patch of grass, and we were catching mad fish out of this grass. And then we had like 2 boats just come over and start pitching the literal same exact 10-foot patch of grass that we were freaking catching fish on. And I started getting mad. I was like, dude, I'm going to freak out on this dude. And Tony was like, it's okay.
The old Upper Bay pattern.
He's like, it's okay. He's like, it's not a tournament. Just chill. It's whatever. I was like, fuck this guy. Like,
That's the old Upper Bay pattern.
Yeah.
Old Upper Bay /
yeah,
Potomac
that
pattern.
freaking bent rod pattern. It's true. It's what it is.
I remember. I mean, I was fishing a tournament with Rob Steiner one time. Now, we're out on the flats. We're fishing in Chester County, and I'm fishing one patch of grass. That's maybe
Hit that like button, boys. Let's get some of our views back up. I
maybe
appreciate it. Hit that like button.
like a three quarter cast across, and same wide, like it's a little circle, like just like a little circle patch of grass. And there's nothing around it, and I'm power pulled down on it, like in the middle of it, just casting to it. And this aluminum boat from Pennsylvania, like comes around behind me. You know how it is on the flats. Like everybody's moving around each other.
Yep.
Like, so no big deal. Like, he comes around behind me, and then he comes around the side, and then he gets to like the edge of the grass, like on the side, and then just starts casting like right in front of me. And he made the first cast, and I just kind of looked at him, and so like he reels it in, makes the second cast, and I go, "Do you just want to fish off my fucking boat?"
Yeah, straight up.
And Rob's in the back of my boat just geeking. Oh yeah, that guy. Same deal. That guy on Conowingo when Miles was with me was just absolutely retarded.
Start fishing the same rock.
So we're sitting out on the flat below the islands. We're the only boat in sight
On the flat.
Like there's nobody else around, and this dude comes idling down out of the rocks. You know, I mean, he's idling for like a half a mile.
He's
or
watching
more.
you.
He gets pretty much even with us.
What's that bend pole pattern?
Miles hooks one. He comes right in behind us, turns his boat upstream, shuts the big motor off. Or no, he didn't shut the big motor off. He's just he's idling. So he tries to idle. So we're sitting here facing upstream. He's trying to idle around us, like, and get in front of me where we're casting. So Miles had been casting out this side of the boat. I'm like, Miles, reel your line in. Kick trolling motor up on 10 and just go straight left and cut him off. All right, so he turns around and starts going the other way. So I just turn right.
Going the other way,
Start going the other way, and he stops. And he goes, "Well, where are you fishing?" I'm like, "Here."
Yeah. Everywhere. All of it.
I just said here, and just kind of pointed, and he's like, "Well, I got 100 waypoints out here too." I'm like. No hesitation. It's like, I don't care if you got 1,000 fucking waypoints. You don't have to fish 20 yards away from me.
Yep.
I got waypoints.
I got waypoints out here too. I don't care.
I got waypoints.
It doesn't mean you can pull up. Like, I mean, I was throwing an Alabama rig. Like, I could have casted my Alabama rig over his boat to the other side of his boat. It was so, and I know exactly who it was. I know the person, and it's one of those things like off the water, like they're not a bad person,
Yeah.
but they have zero respect on the water. I know a lot of people like that, and I try to be as respectful as possible when I'm on the water, but the funniest one that I ever had was I was fishing Arundel Pier, and I was fishing the island in that bank, and I came up, I fished the island, and I just kind of shot across and fished a couple pilings, and I saw a guy run in and set down. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get back over here. Yeah. So I kicked my trolling motor up on high, and I'm casting over to the rock, and this guy's just trying to go, I'm trolling
In between you and the rock.
and he's trying to go around me in between. So the dude isn't paying attention. He almost runs his boat up on that
Into the
freaking
rocks.
island. like he realizes at the last second, like throws his boat into reverse, and then calls me an asshole.
Oh, you told me.
The
about
dude
that.
never said a word to me.
Until he hit the rocks.
If he had said if he had pulled
Why
in,
not just be like, hey, can I come fish next to you?
that's all he had to say. He's like, hey, do you mind if he had said, hey, do you mind if I fish here? Not a problem.
Yeah.
I knew when he was
There's so,
fishing.
like-
I was fishing a club tournament. I didn't care. I knew he was fishing a money tournament. Like, for me, like, if I'm fishing a club tournament or I'm just out fun fishing and somebody's fishing a money tournament, like, I'll give up a spot for him. I've done it for... I know most of these guys that fish. I do it for everyone. It's not like I just do it for certain people. I'll do it for everyone. I've done it for Mike Santor. I've done it for you. I've done it for I've done it for Harry. If I'm just out fun fishing, somebody pulls up and they say, "Hey, I'm fishing a tournament. You mind if I fish here?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, go ahead." I'm like, "I'll get out of here." But he never said a word. Never looked at me. And was just trying
Acted
to
like
cut
you
me
weren't
off.
there.
Just acted like I wasn't there. So I just kept going that way, and he almost ran his boat into the rocks.
My favorite.
And he's like, I guess you just own all this area. And I was like, dude, all you had to do was say something. Like, I never yelled at him
Well,
or
first
anything.
off, the island's only
"You're a
50
fucking
yards
asshole."
wide.
You're a fucking asshole.
My favorite of the people.
Like, dude, all
that-
you had to do was say something.
the people that like they'll do it to you and it's okay, but do it to them and it's the end of the world. That's
Every time.
under my skin
All the
every
time.
time.
Yep, all the time.
Do you remember that Chester County, the kayaker, when me and you were over Arundel Pier and Chris and
Yep.
Steve were
Yep.
over fishing the bank? So we're like, so this is a big long.
Dude, I am guilty of pushing out so many
Kayakers.
kayakers.
No.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie.
No, this-
like I am guilty of it straight up.
Paul, we didn't push him out. So we're fishing the pier.
Oh, I pushed him out. I was like, "You get out of here."
Steve. So we're fishing the pier. Steve and Chris are fishing the bank, and we're probably 2/3 of the way down the dock.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's probably
10, 12.
probably
maybe.
10 or 12 pilings between us and the bank. And we had seen this kayaker like over on the other side of the island. This dude just not a care in the world, doesn't say anything, that goes right by Chris and Steve, goes
Kicks
right
right.
in front of us, pulls in like
It was
like
lit-
10
it was like-
pilings in front of us.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was closer.
It might have been closer. And I just look at it and shake my head, and I look there, and he's only 30 yards from us, and I just look over at Chris and I'm like, "This is why nobody fucking likes kayak anglers." And he just goes on fishing like nothing ever happened.
Like he didn't even hear you.
Yeah. Like he was just totally oblivious that he was doing something wrong, and it was obvious that I was fishing down these pilings, and he just goes in and pulls right in front of me.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not a stab at kayak anglers. I mean, that's I'm talking just angling. Courtesy.
It's not just kayakers.
My
it's
stab
everybody.
at kayakers is when you're fishing in a channel that I have to be running through.
Well, not
And
necessarily
then you're,
fishing.
you're mad at me because I ran through it, and I'm like, you're where I have to be.
Yeah.
I don't care. And look, I'm just gonna straight up say it. Those times have been when I'm going across Days Cove. There's a freaking kayaker in there, and I fucking fly past them, and they're just like, I'm like, dude, if I let off, I cannot let off, dude.
I would say
I'm like, you're right where I need to be. I'm not just going this way because I want to run you out of your kayak. Like,
I will say that most of the kayak anglers back there understand that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
never think so. I think they're all retarded.
I think most of them understand because I've never had a problem. Like, as long as I didn't they'll see where I sat. Like they've been fishing the corner there where those trees are, and I've had to run by them to the deeper water, and I sat down. And I just said something to the guy one time. I was like, "Hey man, I didn't mean to wake you. I had to get to here to sit down." And he's like, "Yeah, no man, no big deal." And I've only ever had one kayaker back there that yelled at me for running by him.
Yeah.
And I just looked at him and said, "Well, next time I'll just go by you at 6 miles an hour and really wake you."
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to. Like a lot of people don't realize that
Yeah.
you throw less of a wake on plane than you do when you're just idle.
They just think it's threatening because you're going so fast.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's like,
and it's like I said, it's not a dig at kayak anglers. It's just angling courtesy in general.
I've never had that interaction with a kayak angler because I always just blow right past them and I don't stop.
See, I try to be respectful. If I can stop and slow down, Like if it's possible for me, like
I'm
if
not
I'm not
saying
in,
I don't slow down for them, but
Like, I'm not
when
gonna
I
set-
have to be on plane, I have to be on plane.
like exactly, like if we're in the Quarry Canal and like I can
Yes.
set down and it's high
Yes.
tide, like and
That's
I see a
fine.
kayak angler up there, I'll stop 30, 40 yards
Yes.
before I get to him.
100%.
I'll idle by him, wait till I get by him, and then I'll take off again. But it's not the kayak anglers that really tick me off. It's the pleasure kayakers. That
Right.
you come out of Haverty Grace and you go down the back channel and they're 10 wide in the middle of the
Yes.
channel.
Whole channel.
100%.
You're in a kayak. You need 6 inches of water. You don't need to be in the middle of the channel. You can go literally miles that way. Like there's
Does your
miles.
boat have a
Of,
horn?
there's miles of water.
Beep, 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 beep.
It's got a-
beep, beep,
it's got No, but it's got a really loud 2-stroke.
You should put a train horn on there, but they get out of the way.
Right. Exactly, Martin. I mean, like they just don't have any. They just don't have any common sense. Like I'm not knocking you for being out there. It's everybody's water. You have just
Yes,
as much
it
right
is.
to be out there as I do.
It's everybody's water.
But have some common sense.
Or some common courtesy.
Common sense and well, I think that goes hand in hand. If you're in a kayak, just you can paddle 20 feet off the shore.
Yep.
There's 4 feet of water 20 feet off the shore, and you're not inhibiting anybody. You're still having a good time. You can
Go
see the
somewhere
wildlife.
else. Go somewhere else. Just go somewhere else.
Literally
pond.
anywhere.
Go float your stupid piece of plastic in a puddle somewhere. Get out of my way.
Just go anywhere but in the Mark Channel.
Go anywhere but Mariner Point Park.
Diners.
I have less of an issue with people at Mariner Point than I do in Haverty Grace. Haverty Grace is terrible.
Yeah.
Because they'll go 10, 15 wide, and they'll just be spread out going down the back channel.
Dude, it also goes back to Haverty Grace has a lot of really stupid boat launchers there, dude. Even fishermen.
God.
They have so many people who are just so ignorant
Why is it
to launching at the boat, and it's not even a hard thing.
that every pleasure boater thinks that the proper time to load their boat up with stuff is when their trailer's parked on the boat ramp?
All of them.
Like
Every one of them.
They back down till the wheels touch the water, and then they start getting their cooler out of the car and putting their cooler in the boat, and getting their life vests out and putting them in the boat, and getting the kids, getting the kids out of the car. Like, you literally could have done that in the parking lot.
Yep.
There's 75 parking spots up there.
Why
just
didn't you put
waited
your
in line for
kids-
20 minutes?
Why didn't you put your kids in the boat before you got on the damn highway?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've been waiting in line to get to the ramp for 30 minutes because it's Memorial Day weekend and there's a billion boats there, and then they still wait until they get on the boat ramp to put everything in their boat. You could have just got out of your car while you were in line and gotten it taken care of.
I need to figure this out. Who is going to help me? I need somebody to go to the boat ramp with me this spring and just wear a sign that says, "Are you full-blown retarded?" Yes or no?
I will not be doing that.
I would
I'm
not
just-
volunteer for that one.
No?
No.
You just not want to get punched in the face, or are you scared of...
Oh, did I ever tell you the story when me and Kevin were out?
No, I don't.
So-
Maybe.
We're down at we launch out of Mariner Point, and we come in.
Are you full-blown retarded as you're jackknifing your fucking $100,000 boat at the fucking...
And this dude has his pleasure boat parked in one of the pull out lanes, like at the end. So he's fucking jacking off in the parking lot or something.
Whoa.
And I drop Kevin off. Kevin goes up, and meanwhile, like his son is like holding the boat there, and Kevin goes up and he gets my truck, and like he's got it blocked. He's got this ramp blocked. This guy's got he's loading his boat. There's 2 people launching. So Kevin just backs in and just angles my boat trailer. And I just drive around him. Like, plenty of room. Like the kid was like freaking out with like the boat. Like there's plenty of room there. Like it was no big deal. And I told him, I was like, hey dude, you're fine. Like there's plenty of room here. The dude pulls in front of in front of my truck, or it was my Jeep at the time. Pulls in front of my Jeep. and starts going like, I mean, this dude is going off on Kevin. I thought Kevin was gonna get out and beat the dog shit out of this dude. Like he's like, in 30 years I've been launching my boat here and I ain't never seen any shit like this. Like Kevin's like, don't park your boat in the boat ramp. Meanwhile, little context of the story, there are 0 boats tied up to the outside of the docks. You know, like on the flat sections on the outside, 0 boats. Like there's 0. He could have just tied his boat up, not been in the fucking way.
Kevin or the other guy?
The other guy.
Yeah.
No, he had his boat tied up in the pull out lane, and I just went around him. Like it was no big deal. There's plenty of room. Like I had like 4 feet between me and his boat. And
4 feet is not
and
much.
Kevin finally rolls down his window and was like, he's already got the boat on a trailer. If you just get out of the fucking way, you could pull your boat out. Like we were there for 30 seconds. Like, if you got somebody backing your truck down, you can load your boat in less than a minute.
So what was the deal? The guy was
pissed because Kevin backed down the ramp and he had his boat parked in that slot. So he thought to go get his truck. So he thought that meant like he owns that slot. Like that boat ramp's his. Like it's going to be reserved for him for however long he lollygags in the parking lot. Like the dude was not in sight when I dropped Kevin off on the ramp. So that's how long it took him. Like Kevin, he was already gone in the parking lot. Kevin got off my boat, went up, got my truck, and drove down and backed my trailer in before the guy even pulled his truck down.
He probably didn't start pulling down until he saw him pull into that spot.
Probably.
Oh gosh, I've got so many fun boat ramp stories. Yeah. I was we had a club tournament in Dundee one time, and Dundee is like all the docks are over on the side. So, I went up, I got my truck, backed it down into the ramp, ran, in a hurry, got my boat, jumped in my boat, drove it around, and was getting ready to drive my boat up, and there's a V-Haul tracker sitting there with this woman in it. And, she's just kind of, sitting out there. And, I just start to go past her, and she goes, excuse me, I'm next in line. I'm like, is your truck in the fucking boat ramp? Because mine is. It just went by her. It just went and loaded my boat.
These stories happen all the time on the water, and it doesn't from loading or unloading your boat to fishing somebody's dock. We've all probably experienced. Let's hear about it. Tell us one of them. Come on, the mic is open to you, sir.
A-Dock, or not A-Dock, B-Dock in Haverty Grace, the houseboat. I'm sure I know you got stories with that one.
Oh God!
I got a better one in Tidings. Actually, I was fishing with Miles if he's still on. So this is the first tournament that me and Miles ever fished together, and we're in Tidings, and I'm throwing a jig up underneath the dock, and we pulled in this empty slip, and there's a houseboat there, on this side, and we're here, and we're fishing an empty slip on this side, casting up underneath the dock, and this 50, 60-year-old guy comes out and he swears that one of us hit his boat. And he
you'd hit my boat with a jig, son of a bitch.
Yeah, and he's saying he's gonna get the numbers off my boat and call his insurance and
go ahead.
all this and that.
Call DNR.
Yeah. And then he threatens to spray me with a hose that's hooked up to the dock. And it was March, so
this is
gonna suck.
This is the one time ever Nate will call DNR.
I would have just jumped in the water and been go ahead, spray me.
And so this guy, it was March, or I would have not cared.
Okay, it was March.
Yeah, and he's he goes to spray me with it, and he sprayed.
Oh my God,
it was on mist. And we were 10 feet away, so he didn't hit me, but he must have thought that it was on
jet,
something pressurized,
jet or a stream,
and it was on mist,
and
he got
Let me tell you, the wind just blew it right back into it. You ever have any run-in with the woman in the tiki boat in B-Dock? It was second. It was the second.
Oh,
slip
he
in.
has.
Side,
On
the
the
right
right.
side.
The second slip in.
I've never even I've never even seen her there. I don't think.
There, it's not there anymore.
Okay.
This
I know
was-
which boat you're talking about.
Yeah, it had
They
like
used
the,
to have like
the
the,
tiki bar
like
on the back
umbrellas
with
and everything on
the
them.
palm
Yeah.
trees and stuff in the
Yeah.
back of the. It was like a big pontoon houseboat. So she was in the second slip, and I was fishing the first slip, and she's like, "Excuse me, I'd appreciate it if you didn't fish near my boat." I was like, it's cool. Like I'm just fishing over here. I was fishing, the inside of the wall. It was pre-spawn. Like,
Yeah.
so like, boat wake, like a boat that came through, and it kind of turned the back of my boat like toward hers. So like I just walked back and very gently with the butt of my fishing rod, a foam butt of my fishing rod, just push myself off so my boat wouldn't hit it. And she freaked out, threatened to call the cops on me. Like, I mean, just screaming at me. Like, I'm just like, not that important. See you later. Like, I'm not fishing a tournament, nothing. Like, I ain't dealing with this shit. Like she flipped out just because, like, I kept my boat from damaging her boat because I shouldn't have been in there. Yeah. The amount of people that think they own the water is phenomenal. Like, it blows my mind.
I don't know, man. I was down in Baltimore doing some work today, and it was just like, it just gave me that liberal point of view on some things, and I was just like, what the fuck, man? Get me out of Baltimore.
The problem is, or what I find, and I'm not trying to take a political stand, but these people that bitch at you on the water are not liberals. And it makes me mad that they're not liberals, because then I would have an excuse. Like, I had just another liberal asshole.
There is
Sometimes.
definitely a
Sail
bunch of
a
liberals
lot.
that I have met on the water that are...
A few.
Yeah.
Oh, I've met a few.
Not fishermen.
But it's
Mostly
usually
not fishermen.
Usually,
I'm not saying-
the ones that are yelling at you for fishing on their dock are generally liberals generally don't have enough money to buy.
Are you saying they're
properties for
Republicans
fishing.
because they have enough money to stay on the water?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Miles, I did not get to go to Kissling's today, dude. I was kind of upset about it. My phone died when I was down there today working in Baltimore, and I told my buddy that I wanted to go to Kissling's and get some wings, and he kind of wasn't about it, and we didn't end up going. But
Boo.
I fully intend on making it back to go to Kissling's, because if you think that I'm skipping out on a good wing joint, you're wrong.
right.
I'm not doing it. I saw the picture of those wings, and there were sweet peppers in there with the wings, and I want that.
You know
I
what
want
makes
that with my wings.
It makes me so mad that wings are so expensive now.
They are so expensive. It's like a delicacy.
Like the other for
It's like some chicken wings is a delicacy, bro.
for the game last weekend, like I made my own wings. I made like 24 wings, and it was like, I don't know, I spent like $27, and that's cheap. I remember
What kind of wings did you buy?
chicken wings.
Purdue wings?
I don't know, whatever they had at the supermarket.
Yeah.
And it was like $17 for like whole wings, and I had to split them myself, and so it was, and that was cheap comparing to like buying wings. Like I remember my favorite place, it's Bon Gusto now, up in Wyford.
I will get those,
Um,
Miles. Atomic, that's right up my alley. Let's go.
they used to have, so when I lived up there,
It's not just you, John. It's all of us.
12, 13 years ago, you could get 24 wings from them for $10 on game day Sundays.
Damn, dude. Remember
And they
when
would just
had,
give
like-
you a metal tin of wings.
Dude, didn't they used
for
to have
$10.
25-cent wing night?
No, they never had a wing night up there.
I thought there was a 25-cent wing night at like Buffalo Wild Wings or some shit.
Buffalo
at one
Wild
point,
Wings used to be
though.
50 or 30.
Was it
30?
50
It was 30. 30.
30-cent wing night, dude. It's $1 for a wing now.
It was 30-cent.
At least.
It was 30-cent traditional wings, 50-cent boneless wings at Buffalo Wild Wings when it first opened up.
I have never actually gone above the hot wings at CR,
Oh, yeah,
to be honest
Bateman's.
with you, Miles.
I forgot about Bateman's.
Oh, Bateman's is good.
Bateman's in Bel Air, the little crappy Bateman's.
Yeah.
We used to.
Crossing the festival?
No. It was right across from Old Joppa Road. Right, like across from where Conrad's is now.
Okay, yeah.
They used to have a banging wing night. They had good wings there too. Bateman's, I have no idea what AVCE is.
AYC.
All you can eat.
Oh.
They used to so that Bateman's used to have an all you can eat pasta night. And I kid you not, it was like $15 and I ate they brought the pasta out in like this, it was like on a circle. I have fucking hiccups. It was on like a serving tray. So like you didn't just get like a bowl of pasta, like you got a serving tray full of pasta. And I ate three of them one night. Shit was good.
Miles, you go to more buffets than anybody I know.
Wings
Look,
on
another one.
Mondays.
All
Used to
you
go
can eat
every single week, dude. He's locked in, bro. Larry says Monday nights. He's on top of it. John, what are you talking about?
not gonna say
Turney's wings. Who? Turney makes wings? Just trying to figure out what's going on, because
said
if
I'm
Turney
sorry
makes
for it.
wings, I'm gonna need some wings next week, straight up. We're gonna have freaking Phil Givens on the scene next week. Be going in deep into some Alaska elk hunting, something of that nature. I have no idea what he's gonna bring to the table. We are going to talk about bass fishing a little bit next week, but we are going to definitely swirl off into Alaska hunting and hanging out with Ryan Salzman, bass
I will
fishing,
say,
and
one of my dream fishing trips is steelhead fishing in British Columbia, but I really don't want to get killed by a bear, so that will never happen.
I think that, yeah, I mean,
Like, if I have to defend-
he's done that shit.
If I have to
though.
defend myself, like I don't want to go there.
Imagine, dude, Phil has done that, but he's done it filming, not even fishing.
Right? Like you don't even
Like,
get the full benefit of it.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, man. That's got to be badass. And I'm not saying that it would be cool to see a grizzly bear up that close, but it would be really cool to see a grizzly
Yes.
bear up that close.
If Ron is at the Thursday nighters, or actually
Ron
you're not-
Steerstorfer? Yeah, don't come to the Thursday nighters, please.
Ask him about. No, just
I'm trying to win some money this year, bro. Like,
so ask him about his Alaska fly fishing trip.
Alaska fly fishing? All right.
It's hilarious.
All right. I'm going to bring Uncle Ron onto the show. Come on, Uncle Ron.
It involves a small creek and a grizzly bear.
God damn. I've seen videos like on YouTube and stuff that are just exhilarating, and I don't understand how these guys didn't shoot the bear as it was charging at them. It shows incredible amount of
Restraint.
restraint to shoot the animal, to actually see if it is a false charge or not. But oh my god, dude!
Well, see,
Like,
and-
how do you test a grizzly bear for a false charge, bro?
Right.
Like, come
Like,
on
I
now.
just don't. I don't ever want to be in that situation. One, I don't want to kill a grizzly bear.
No.
Like I have no. Like I'm fine with hunting. I have no issue with hunting.
You don't have to kill a grizzly bear to go fish salmon.
But like I don't want to have to kill. Like I don't want to have to kill a grizzly bear because
or any bear for
because
that
I
matter.
wanted to go catch a freaking fish.
Yeah, any bear for that matter.
I
honestly.
like bears. Like they have their spot in the ecosystem.
Dude, bears
like,
are
it's
cool.
Yeah,
Does a
bears-
bear shit in the woods? Do you know?
I think so.
Well, you're wrong. Not if he's in a field.
That's John. That's why I don't swim in the ocean either. I have a very high respect for sharks.
I don't get in the ocean because of sharks, even though you have a better chance of being struck by lightning.
I will get in the ocean, but like I'm not like going.
I will too.
Fuck.
Up to my kneecaps, and then I'm stopping.
I mean,
Far
I'll
enough that
even
you can run away.
I'll even go like up to my I'll go up to like my chest. But if I have to like tread water, yeah, it's not happening.
That's
like
bass
as long as
fishing
I,
territory.
as long as I can touch the bottom, like I'm good. But nah.
God, no.
I mean, if you're up to your knees, you can. I mean, you're still in depth that you can get bitten by a shark.
All right, John, because you love sharks, if I ever get one of my big swim baits caught up, I will put the scuba gear on you.
Oh, I love sharks too.
And you can dive down to get my freaking gear.
Yes. I mean, I love animals. Like that's I always have. have
Yeah.
a great respect for them. I have a great respect for them, and
I
love
have
sharks.
so much
love sharks, I
so
love
much respect
snakes,
for these
but-
animals that I don't want to be anywhere near them.
like we live in the 21st century. If I want to see a bear, I can pull up a YouTube video.
That's what.
Go to the zoo.
Right. I'll just go to the zoo.
You can go get that freaking Oculus and have a freaking nice 3D view of the freaking bear in your Oculus. You can just be right there at the freaking Baltimore Zoo, wherever you want to be.
I want
wanna
an Oculus view of that bear charging, and then just think about wonder what happened to make this video.
Dude, think about it. You could have an Oculus view with a bear charging, and then you could pitch a jig at it or something.
Got him. No, I don't. John hates stink bugs. Yeah, don't we all hate stink bugs? I think everybody hates stink bugs. No, it's. What are you doing?
I'm
crap.
liking Matthew's comment. I'm liking Matt's comment. I don't know if he likes Matt or Matthew. I'm just liking this comment on YouTube.
Yeah, I just don't want to be in that situation where I have to kill an animal to do something else that I'm trying to enjoy.
Yeah.
I'll go hunt. I'll go shoot a deer. I'll
So-
go shoot a bear.
If you guys
If
didn't
that's what I'm
actually-
trying to do.
If you guys didn't actually know that, that's why I'm here right now.
What?
I was really big into waterfowl hunting with my dad. I was big into waterfowl
that's right.
hunting. I did a lot of waterfowl hunting. We were shooting a lot of goose and a lot of ducks. And dude, one day we knocked 2 geese out of the sky, broke their wings, came down, broken wings, and they were, you've seen it.
Oh, I remember
They're
you
flopping
telling me
around, they're
this.
running across the field, and we had to head rake them to take them out. And at that moment, I was kind of just like, man, I said, I don't like this. I broke their wing. They're probably in a lot of pain. They're running across the field knowing that their life is about to end. And they're probably terrified. And you come and you fucking rake their head right off. And I was just like, it doesn't sit well with me. I didn't like it. I don't think badly of anybody that goose hunts or anything like that, but
Just
I
not for
just
you.
personally didn't like it.
Yeah,
I was like,
I
you
get
know
it.
what? I said, it's not for me. And then one of my friends introduced me to bass fishing, and I was like, dude, I can hunt this fish, I can stalk this fish, I can catch this fish, I can let this fish go to catch it again. And I respected that a lot more. I just enjoy it so much more. I feel like, you're not taking an animal's life. You're catching something, you're respecting it for what it is, and then you're letting it live and go back to where it lives. And I like that a lot more, personally.
See, I have no issue killing an animal that I'm going to use.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've never been one to, I grew up pretty.
I believe in clean kills.
we grew
I
up-
believe in clean kills. I like kills where they hit the ground, they're dead.
we grew up single family, or single income family. We didn't have a lot of money, so when we hunted, we hunted because that's what we ate. We didn't buy beef at the store because beef was expensive. So we just ate deer. So we deer hunted. We deer hunted constantly all the time. I didn't bother. I can tell you this: I ain't never passed up a deer, unless it had spots. If it was, it didn't matter if it was a 70-pound doe or 150-pound, buck.
Buck or doe.
Yeah, we just, we shot it, we killed it, we ate it.
That's tender meat's all it is.
It was, that was hunting. That was
I don't
hunting for me.
believe
I
it.
never got into, was it nice to kill a big buck? Yeah, absolutely. It was cool. But that
Buck
wasn't
out
what it
there
was
just to
about.
Buck
do
meat is
that.
so much
Yeah.
more gamey than a doe's meat. I would rather eat a big doe than a big buck.
They taste the
Any
same.
day.
They taste the same to me.
You think so?
I
Yeah.
mean,
People say the same thing about
depends on.
fish.
I think it more depends on age than whether it's a buck or a doe.
Same thing with fish. Yeah.
If it's an older deer, it's got that gamey flavor to it. Unless it's like a full rut buck that hasn't eaten in fucking 2 weeks because he's out chasing some poontang.
Poontang.
Those will get a little. And some of it too is just how you.
You out chasing poontang?
If you
Yeah,
hang,
he's a
if
poontang
you
chaser.
like
He's
if
a
you hang
poontang
if you
chaser.
hang a buck and you don't cut the you're hanging them
Just
upside
cut
down.
the horns off and let the rest of it just.
Well, if you no, I'm just saying if you don't cut the glands off,
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah,
all that
yeah,
shit
yeah,
just runs
yeah.
down into the fucking meat, like, and that's what ends up making your meat taste like crap.
Yeah.
Like you're just
It's all
you're
the
letting all that
testosterone.
stuff-
It's all the testosterone and shit that gets hung in the meat.
That's right,
You gotta
Larry,
cut
you
that
don't eat
shit
the
out
horns.
right away.
You know, I've killed some big bucks.
I don't eat the horns.
I will say,
Larry.
I will say
You
that,
could grind them up and put them on top of your spaghetti or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yes, I'll shoot a piebald.
It's probably in hot dogs.
Usually,
Dude, venison hot dog. Yeah, it probably is.
the reason
Definitely,
I
actually.
stopped hunting
Come here, let's go outside.
was I made
Go.
like I know I made a good shot. Like I watched the arrow go through the deer, and it was the biggest buck that I've ever shot. And you know we tracked it through the cornfield, and we never found it. And it just made like that kind of made me
Yeah, you know it's dead, but you
Yeah,
can't,
right,
You don't know
like,
where
I-
it
It
is.
makes you sick to your stomach.
it just kind of made me sick to my stomach, and like I just stopped hunting after that
You
because I didn't need
You
to.
respect the animal.
Right.
You respected the animal. And,
And
I respect the shit out of that.
At that point in my life, like I didn't need to hunt. You know, I had a decent job. Like I could afford to. You know, like I didn't need to hunt. So like I just stopped. I stopped gun hunting when I was like 17 because it was too easy.
Yeah.
It was like anything that anything within 100 yards is dead with a shotgun. Yo, 870 Wingmaster, factory full
It's a good
choke,
gun.
factory full choke, baby. That thing would
Open sights.
bead, baby.
Beat. Yeah.
That was the best shooting. It's actually my mom's shotgun. It was the best shooting slug gun. It would shoot a slug dead on a Remington Slugger, dead on at 100 yards.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Like it was, you didn't. All you had to do is put the bead. You put the bead on that deer, and you would drop it. I watched my mom drop the biggest buck my mom ever shot. We were hunting together, and on our farm we had a tree stand in this mulberry tree, and there was like briars and stuff like around it, made like a little natural ground blind, and she was down on the ground, I was up in a tree stand, and we were hunting together, and this buck runs across the road and runs up on the terrace, and it was behind a limb, and I told my mom to shoot it because I couldn't see it. Dude, she dropped this deer where it sat. We stepped it off at 113 yards. Like
she
she
hit
just
it?
went boom.
Hit it in the shoulder.
Yeah, straight through the heart.
Really?
Like perfect heart shot. I mean, just dropped. I mean, the deer never moved an inch. With bead sight, just an old 870 Wingmaster. God, that gun shot's so good.
Yeah. We have.
My shotgun,
I
shotgun shot slugs like.
I have a
crap.
Remington 870 pump action.
Yep.
That's what I like. That's what I like to shoot. And
That's
then
what I have too.
what is it? The 1187
Yeah.
is the semi-auto.
Semi.
Yep.
But I really enjoyed that 870. I shot that Remington 870 all through my goose hunting. I still have the Remington 870 in my
John, I don't
gun safe
I don't
right
play.
now.
I don't really shoot anymore, but I can shoot.
Yeah.
Been shooting guns since I was old enough to walk.
It's important to know how to shoot. It's important to know how to shoot no matter what. Period. Don't matter if it's for animals or for government individuals.
I
But
used to shoot a lot of trap. Who was it?
a lot of trap shooting. Trap and skeet is a lot of fun.
Was
dude.
that last week we were talking about shooting trap?
I don't think so. It was multiple weeks ago. We talked
I
about
think it was
it.
last
for
week.
sure.
It was me, you, and Tony.
I was so hammered last week
I think we were talking about shooting trap because you were trying to get me to go to the shore and shoot sporting clays.
at John's Hopkins.
Yeah.
Hopkins Place.
Yeah.
We should go.
I have no desire to shoot sporting clays. I will go to
He'll go.
I will go to Cedar and shoot trap as many days as you
Dude,
want.
it would just be fun for like the Bass and Beer radio crew to just go up and shoot some clays. It would be fun.
I'll go shoot trap with you anytime you
Yeah,
want.
it'd be great.
I love shooting trap.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
Sporting clays is fun.
Sporting clays is so much fun. They roll across the ground, go
Yep.
up high, mid, like it's good fun. We should go do it. I'm into it.
It's not like I've never done it.
You uncultured swine.
Still like it.
You American uncultured swine. Yeah, I know. No, straight up. That's what I'm saying. We've all done it. We should We should go see who's got that shot. You know, Tony's in the military and everything.
I'll go
so,
pull
you
out
know.
You're gonna make me if we're gonna sporting clays. You're gonna have to make me go pull out the 20 gauge, aren't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gotta go pick that up from my dad's house.
He's ready.
I have.
All right, I'm gonna call Hopkins Game Farm. Let's
I
set
have-
this up. Hell yeah, boy.
So I have matching Model 12s, 12 and 20 gauge. One of them was my grandfather's from my mom's side. And one of them was my grandfather's from my dad's side.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, the one
That's
for my
beautiful.
I don't shoot the one for my 12 gauge anymore. It's got some.
Why don't you like the word
it's got
Hopkins,
it's got some
John? I don't
firing pin
understand
issues,
that.
and if you shuck a shell too hard, it'll go off.
Yeah, especially low brass.
You slam that thing too hard forward, it will fire.
Oh. It's got it shaved down, or just been shot.
No,
so
it's
many
just been
times?
shot so many times. I mean, it was. I mean, that was my grandfather's shot. My grandfather got it in like when he was 20, and he was born in 1924. So, yeah, and that I mean that he hunted deer with it, hunted rabbits with it, squirrel. You know, it got some. That thing got some use. The other 20 gauges are really. I mean, it's in like pristine shape. I probably wouldn't shoot that just because it's in such good shape, and it's equally old. I mean, it's 80 years old, but still shoots fine. Now I'll go pull out the 870.
Let's do it. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna set it up for the Bassamere crew, including Kevin, your Pasadena ass. Come up here.
Kevin loves to shoot.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We'll get Nate. We'll get Nate out there. Nate'll be freaking dusting all of us. Actually, I'm just kidding, dude. I'm gonna smoke all of you. You guys don't even know. I'm a freak. They call me Shooter McGavin.
I haven't shot in it's been a really long time since I've shot since I've shot anything. I just don't like so.
I honestly I don't know why, John. I really don't. I don't understand the
He
Hopkins
said it was
thing.
a bad time. He must have shot
You
bad.
can send it to
I
me in my
didn't shoot
inbox,
bad.
but I don't know why.
I got to a point like where like
Hopkins Game Farm?
in my like mid 20s, it was like I can either have enough money to fish or I can have enough money to hunt and shoot
Pick
guns.
one.
And I picked fishing. I like fishing way more than I like shooting. So
Oh, dude, the shooting is like a once or a twice a year deal with your boys, and that's about it. I don't think they encourage alcohol out on the shooting field, but
no, they definitely do not.
Definitely do not.
it is.
It is highly frowned upon.
Well, this is a very large Pepsi.
So we're getting kicked out before we get to shoot. So we're gonna drive 2 hours to not shoot.
No, they're gonna wait till you shoot once, and then you're gonna get all the charges.
What is that? It's a Pepsi. Get the fuck out.
Better bring your Coke koozies.
Do you think this will fit in a koozie?
I'm sure we could find a koozie. There.
Probably find one.
We'll make one.
You could probably find a quilt you could wrap it in.
Go buy some neoprene on
sleeping
Amazon.
Oh,
Sleeping
man.
bag.
With that being said, though, I think we're going to wrap this up. We're coming up to that. Let's see. We are at
Almost 3 hours.
we're at almost 3 hours, man. So we're going to wrap this thing up. We appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight, and we will see you guys later on this week or next Friday. Peace.